people can see me. Alex, are you there? Okay, so
yes,
ladies and gentlemen, you're welcome. I just want to hand over to Mr. Olowo Augustine, who has just joined in. Mr. Olowo, if you can start us off this afternoon.
yes, please.
Alex, if you can make Mr. Olowo, yes, co-host, so that he is able to speak. Mr. Olowo, are you able to speak
All
now?
right, a very good afternoon to you all. I hope you're able to hear me, Anita, from that end.
Yes, I can hear you loud and clear.
All right, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome aboard. This is the Freshers Orientation Seminar that has been brought to you by Shine Leadership International. This afternoon, we are glad to have speakers and seasoned guests from the field of the academia, and they are here to speak to us about a few things that we need to all know while navigating this university life. We will tackle topics such as self-awareness, and we'll also tackle mental health therein, our academic and social life while we are at the university. We'll also tackle a bit of career planning and goal setting so that when you're at the university, you have something that you're looking forward to or something that you're intentional about. We also incorporate in how well you can use the AI in academics and opportunities that avail themselves to you when you're at the university. We'll also handle a bit of skills development and personal security while at the university. My name, ladies and gentlemen, like Madam Anita has said, is Augustine Olowo, and I am in charge of career development and digital marketing at Kampala University main campus in Gaba. I am also a founder of the Kinetic Youth Leadership Foundation, a platform that helps young people realize their potential, but also assists them in aligning their goals with the current trends, but most importantly, also avails training opportunities, especially soft skills training, to individuals and organizations that may want to have them. Ladies and gentlemen, like you are aware, a university is surely a marketplace of ideas. I want to welcome all of you that have joined the university this year to the respective universities that you've joined. I understand there are people listening in to us from all over the world, and so we are not only limited to this country, Uganda, or the Republic of Uganda. We are listened to from all over the world. I want to invite one of our listeners this afternoon to say a word of prayer before we start this orientation session. I am sure at this point that some of our speakers and the panelists have joined us. I want to invite someone. I'm going to invite is going to be on random by random sampling, and don't worry, this is how chances come for you while at the university. I want to request someone using a device named Nalwega Chance Desire to one, introduce yourself and then give us an opening prayer to this session. Otherwise, you're all most welcome to this session, and I hope we will have a very wonderful time. Thank you. Nalwega, take it up from there.
Okay, thank you very much for the opportunity. Let's humble ourselves for a prayer. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Oh Lord, I thank you for the gift of life you've given unto us. I thank you, Lord, for the protection you've given us. And as we are going to begin our orientation, oh dear Lord, I call upon you, Holy Spirit, to come and guide us, to come and enable us understand and keep everything that we are going to be taught in our mind. I pray for the gift of guidance, to I pray for the spirit of guidance for those who are going to guide us as we are going to join campus. Lord, may you be the one to speak through them. I've prayed all this in the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen.
Thank you, Chance, for the wonderful prayers. You may want to introduce yourself so that we know who this is that has said an opening prayer. You're welcome. Kindly let us know who Chance is.
Thank you very much. My name is Nalvega Chance Desire. I'm from Kagadi district. I haven't joined university yet, but I'm joining KIU on 24th for a bachelor in medicine and a bachelor in surgery.
Wow, beautiful. Welcome to the university. I want to, at this point, there are those that have just joined us. You're most welcome on call. I want to specifically shout out to Dr. Dan Musingusi. You're very most welcome to this space this afternoon. At least in Uganda, it is still afternoon. I want to welcome Madam Patience Twina Masiko. Welcome on call. That's one of our mentors at KIU. I want to also welcome, those that are already at campus, at least those that I know. Engineer Tayewa Innocent. Okay, this one completed. Edmed, thank you for coming on call. Faustina, Madam Aisha, you're most welcome. We will have as we go forward, before I introduce the experience from those that are, she's not there. Let me invite, Sylvia, on call? No, let me invite Ivan. Ivan is not on call as well. Okay, let me start with Faustina. Faustina Claire Nasirumbe is a university student at Chambogo University, and I want to invite her to share with us her campus experience and in terms of exposure and in terms of leadership. When we train you like this, ladies and gentlemen that are joining campus, dear freshmen and women, we train you to become all round. And Claire has been one of those very, very, very good people that we have mentored, and she is at Chambogo University. She will introduce herself and share with us her experience. Claire, you're most welcome.
Thank you very much, Mr. Augustine, for the opportunity. Good afternoon, everyone on call. It's my humble pleasure to be on this call this afternoon and to share my experience. First, to introduce myself, I'm Faustina Claire Nasirumbi, a fourth-year student at Chambogo University, pursuing a bachelor's degree in human nutrition and dietetics, but also participating in the students' leadership at the university. That's under the Guild House, where I'm serving as the 20th Guild Representative Counselor for privately sponsored students, also serving as the 20th Guild Minister for Justice and Constitutional Affairs, that is in the current serving government. There I also have a past experience still in the Guild, where I was serving as the 19th Guild Representative Counselor, representing the students from the School of Vocational Studies. Usually my experience when it comes to student leadership, especially at campus, when we are transitioning from high school, in high school you're used to the aspect of prefect, and campaigns in high school usually are simple things. But then one thing I realized about the university leadership, it portrays what we see in national politics. So leadership at the university is something that mentors you or builds you to be able to participate in now national leadership. That is things like going being able to lead at a national level could be the way down from your LC or a member of parliament or even running for presidents, because how the systems run in the university is the same way that actually these systems run at the national level, because at the university, the GRC body taking it to the national level, that is the parliament. Then we have the cabinet, that the ministers, which is the same thing at the national level. But then participating in this leadership gives you the ability as a student to harness your public speaking skills, to harness your teamwork and communication. So it gives you an extra opportunity that you not only get the academic qualifications, but then you are exposed to the outside world, and that you get social capital. I would take it that I actually joined Shine Leadership International because I was a leader. So it's the leadership that actually gave me this opportunity to interact with the people from Shine Leadership. And that's why I'm actually here to share my experience. So I encourage those that are just joining university. It may be scary because sometimes competition is tight, but I would encourage you to actually feel free to take that risk and participate in the leadership, because it will actually give you an opportunity to shine and stand out from the rest and give you lifelong social capital. I remain Faustina Claire from Chambogo University. Back to you, Mr. Olowo.
Thank you so much, Faustina. Mr. Olowo, are you still with us on call? Sometimes network can be a challenge. Ladies and gentlemen, those that have just joined us, you are most welcome. Kindly go to the chat and just let us know where you're joining in from. Want to welcome our facilitator, one of the panelists, Mr. Ambrose Chibuka. We also want to welcome all the freshers that are joining in from everywhere. And then we also want to welcome our panelist, Professor Janice, who is with us, and all the mentors from the different universities. You are most welcome. Mr. Olowo, just kindly check your audio if it's now active. Please make a Kankunda Allen co-host so that she can come in after we listen to Sebina Solomon. Host, kindly make Sebina Solomon co-host so that he's able to share his campus experience. Mr. Olowo, over to you. Okay, Sebina Solomon, please come in. Please do share with us your campus experience. And then we'll have Allen next. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Madam Juanita. Good afternoon to you all members here. I welcome you all. First of all, I'd like to congratulate the year ones here on this platform who are joining the different universities. Please, congratulations. My name is Solomon Sebina. By the grace of God, I'm going to graduate in January from Makerere University. I've been pursuing a bachelor's of education in the subjects of economics and Uganda. But on top of that, I'm a former chairperson, Zambogo, chapter, Makerere University, a former general class coordinator, School of Education, and then the former chairperson, a College of Education and External Studies. For those joining Makerere, we have 10 colleges in Makerere. So for me, I've been the chairperson of the Teachers College. So I'm glad to be on this platform to share my experience as a student at the university. because I think they count as alumni after you've graduated. So I'd like to thank Madam Faustina Claire for the good experience, and I'll add on that and also make a few comments, and also to contribute in a few minutes to the dear freshers who are joining the different universities. And Madam Claire has talked about much about leadership, being a student at the same time a student leader at the university, its advantages. Now, you may find that someone may ask, I'm joining university, but the question is, can I only shine in leadership, where I'm recognized as a chairperson, where I'm recognized as a GRC, or can I only shine in academics? Now, as they say that universities are places for endless opportunities, once you realize that, you may achieve a lot from the university. Me personally, I've achieved a lot apart from the academics, because people here, I thank God, I have really excelled from the university. Not just graduating from the university, but I have excelled because I have all my marks in the system. But I have excelled on top of excelling in leadership, because even in leadership, I thank God I have excelled. But what has helped me is because of the associates. I was able to associate with people who matter. First of all, I was part of Mr. Stephen's engagements from year one. So you see that what has enabled me to excel is because of the people surrounding me. But on top of shining maybe in leadership, you can also, universities have a lot. You can shine in other areas once you discover your interest, because not everybody's interest is in leadership. But we have many things at universities. Sports, even someone can shine in a discussion group. If you, because we always say that universities have intelligent people, you can't just go there and start bragging that from now I'm very intelligent. But then you may have the grace and start discussing for people. Then you shine in that area. People will know you and will be a leader in that area. So as you're joining universities, don't only focus on build leadership and other, but be a leader in any area you can, where you can find yourself succeeding. Now, as I've told you that I've excelled from the university, but then Madam won't allow me also put this to the people joining universities. Please, when you join the university, we become very excited, because now you are becoming an independent individual, and that excitement to some people can make them go astray and then forget their goal to why they join the universities. But once you remain focused, then you will also be on such platforms to start testifying. I thank God. But when you don't really succeed, and you just go into ideas. So don't be overexcited because you are joining university, then everything you have to enjoy it. Please keep the focus. Be disciplined, please. Be disciplined, self-discipline, your personal leadership, because now universities, they are not going to tell you do this and this. But then have that self-discipline, have that self-motivation. It has what has enabled me excel in both academics and leadership. The discipline. When you are disciplined, you attract people, you attract good people, you attract good counsel, the counsel that can enable you excel. But when you are indisciplined, people will abandon you. So for me, what has enabled me to excel, it is the discipline. I won't say that I'm very disciplined, but at least I try every day to ensure that I conduct myself in a way that doesn't annoy others. Then still, when I attended the first training with Mr. Steven and the group, I learned about character, morals, and values, where I set principles that were to govern my campus life. And the many things that are there, people are enjoying. But then I set the principles, and those principles have enabled me to reach this moment with a lot of happiness. That's why I'm here to share with you. First of all, by the people, we talk about HIV. For me, one of the values of BANG, becoming new generation, is abstinence. You know, when in this generation, many people think that abstinence is no longer possible. It is not in any normal person. When you are at the university, to be a normal person, you must engage in sex. Please, after doing all that, you will start regretting. For me, after now, I'm not regretting any moment of my life. I mean, regrets that can make me cry, and not please. But that is because I set principles. But then many colleagues are really crying just because others have missed out on graduation, but then others not even finish university, others have died, and others have a lot of retakes. And then please, being at university, it is very normal not to be consuming drugs. For me, I'm not consuming any drug, and really, please, pressures who are here, you can conduct your life when you're not taking any drug. So that will come from the associates that you have from the university. So for me, generally, the university, I've been friendly to many people. That's why I have friends from other colleges. But you can't attract other people when you are not a friendly person. So I've been friendly, not only to my fellow students, but even to the staff. And for me, I am very aggressive when it comes to looking for knowledge. So still shining cannot only mean leadership, but you can also attend leadership seminars, attend seminars that will improve your understanding, that will increase your understanding. You can also shine in such area. We have very many associations at universities.
Thank you.
Find interest in them so that you can
Solomon,
develop.
as you conclude.
Yes, as I conclude, dear people who are here, please put God first. Don't put God aside for some 2 months and you enjoy the university life. Then after, please go back where you put him and please and say, please God, now I'm back. Please make God your first priority. Once you do that, you will enjoy university, you excel academically, and you excel in everything. You have hope, you have faith, because university life a bit can stress you when you don't have even what to eat. But make God your first priority. Have hope, trust in Him, pray. You will find your life at campus a success. So please, the organizers of this orientation, we thank you very much, because we believe out of the many people who are going to attend, at least a few will be transformed. And that's what we are looking for, not to be reserved individuals, but at least to transform. Then those other people also go and light candles to other people. I thank you very much. May God bless you.
Thank you so much, Ambrose, and thank you so much, Faustina. Ladies and gentlemen, Ambrose emphasizes the use of social networks, but also emphasizes that you should try as much as you can to avail and devote yourself for prayer and for God.
That was Solomon seminar from Makerere University.
Yes. Oh, did I say Simon? Okay, Solomon, thank you. And I hope you greet for me the good people of Makerere University. I want to call the last person to testify this afternoon for this segment, to give what he has gone through at the university. Ladies and gentlemen, as we invite this person, I also remind you to make a call to your friends, send them messages and ask them to join in, because in the next 4 minutes, we should be starting the panel discussion. I want to invite Akankunda Allen, who is a teacher trainee at Kampala University, to speak to us. Allen, you're most welcome.
Thank you so much. Do you hear me? Hello.
Yes, Allen, I can hear you loud and clear.
All right. I am Akankunda Allen, a teacher trainee at Kampala University. I'm just done with my final exams and I'm waiting for graduation. I'm also the online bank president. Bank is becoming a new generation, a program under Family Life Network that advocates for values, morals, and character. So I've also gone through university, and I know that most of those who are going to join will face the same challenges that we've faced, because if they are to change, they will just tilt a little, but of course they remain the same. So joining campus was such an excitement that everyone would expect. You expect change of press, change of personality, you expect to meet new people, like anyone would expect. Previously, when we were in high school, would be told, you're going to enjoy life at campus. Don't stress here. You have to be stressed, but at campus, you have to do what? You will enjoy life. You will not read so much, and that's what most of our teachers would tell us. But contrary, what is at campus is unlimited freedom, but you have to use it wisely. Most of the people come from high schools with that excitement that they are going to enjoy freedom and life. And most of the times we end up losing what we have come to achieve at campus. Yes, at campus, they are not going to run after you. What I experienced was the first time I joined the campus was that unlimited freedom. Like no one is going to come and out of your room, that go for lectures, go for tests. You have to submit in your coursework in time. But of course, every freedom you enjoy at campus has a consequence. So campus is such a very amazing place to enjoy that freedom wisely, to connect, to improve yourself, because most of us who are going to be joining campuses maybe you've not been having that time to engage with a lot of people. You've maybe started from your locality and you've not moved away from home. So this is your time to shine now. You should use this experience that God has granted you. I don't think everyone has gotten this chance. So to improve yourself, to have that better time with friends, to make good friends, because every person you meet at campus has an impact, whether a lecturer, whether a coursemate, whether a roommate, they either impact you positively or negatively. Yeah, the first challenge I faced at campus was luck. I don't know, I've not heard this from the previous speakers. I think I'm the only one who faced this. So I faced luck, and sometimes you could find you've not paid the tuition in time, you're lacking basic needs, you're not having enough money to do some things. And there would be people who would be readily available to provide, of course. Yeah, people are there to provide. Old men are there, my girls, old men are there to provide. You can get everything you want, but of course it comes with a consequence. So having to go through luck, going to campus, you have to come with a foundation of spirituality. Have something, whether you're a Muslim or Christian, come with a foundation of spirituality. somewhere you will go back and say, God this, God that, God this, God that. And when you have that, personally, it helped me to discover whom I wanted to be. I discovered myself, and first of all, I got contented with what I had and what my parents could provide at a moment. I also got the courage to do a part-time job. I started teaching in my year 1, semester 2, and I would balance studying and teaching. You can also do that if your course allows, because at times at campus you find you're having a lot of free time, and as you know that an idle mind is a devil's workshop. That's where the devil is going to bring in some other plots, and maybe you find yourself going out of line. So I engaged myself in spaces. I feel I'm passionate about a girl child, so I joined those spaces that advocate for women's rights. I'm a leader, though I've not been holding any position at campus, but I would engage in leadership courses. I took courses online. I focused so much on having people who positively impacted me. I engaged so much with old people who had experience. For example, Mr. Olu Augustine is my mentor, and he has been there for me throughout the campus life, connecting me to many people, many organizations, and it's been so much of an amazing experience that at the end of the 3 years, I felt like I should even continue the course because it was so amazing. So having to get contented with what you have, it will give you that peace of mind, because at campus you will find competition that this one is having a good phone, an iPhone, this one is sleeping in a very expensive hostel, this one is coming to campus driving, this one is those birthday surprises. And if you don't have that contented heart, my dear, you'll also do anything that can help you get such things. And most of the cases, like I said previously, that everything you do comes with a consequence. There is no one who provides for you and does not want you to pay for that thing that they've given you, whether a phone, whether an outing, whether everything. They will possibly want you to give them back what they've invested in. And so what I would advise my fellow the students who are the freshers who are going to join, make yourself busy, engage with people. If you've not gotten the connections yet for spaces, engage in discussion groups, have that time for your books, have that time with your creator, get contented with what you have, get good friends who build you and can impact you. And if you can get a small job, a part-time job, yeah, do it and earn something to provide for yourself. Avoid free things, and free things are abundant at campus, but you have to avoid them. Yeah, so I think that's my experience, Mr. Oluwo. Thank you, everyone.
All right, thank you so much, Kankunda. Ladies and gentlemen, I think that you people cannot put anything to the chat, but if you could, would give us some flowers. Even then, you can still do a few reactions, thumbs up, and a few of those celebrations and hearts, and to just encourage those that have given us those very beautiful remarks, and especially sharing with us what they have had to get at campus. Ladies and gentlemen, we are now moving forward to the next items on our agenda. I hope I have tried to share. Ole, those that have not shared their experiences yet, I will invite you to share your experience. I want to move so fast into introducing our panelists this afternoon. If you're getting us from Uganda, you know it is afternoon and it's just starting to get into the evening. We're just starting to transition into the evening. Otherwise, I welcome you all one more time. And those of us listening to us internationally, we are very grateful for what you're putting in. Whichever university that you've joined, whichever decisions that you've made of joining the university, ladies and gentlemen, the outcome is one, the workplace is one, and the requirements at work also don't ask you which university or which institution you went to. I want to introduce the following panelists of today, of this afternoon, this evening. Our first panelist is Professor Janice Businje, who is the Deputy Vice Chancellor at Kampala University and Master's degree from the University of KwaZulu-Natal in South Africa. She is an experienced educationist and nurse tutor administrator with over 20 years experience in leadership management. She played a prominent role in the emergence of KIU as the leading private university in Uganda and the second best university in Uganda. Professor Janice is experienced in strategic leadership and planning, organizational and community development. She has also mentored students and staff from diverse backgrounds and diverse nationalities. Recently, in June 2022, she was among the global leaders that spoke at the Edu Data Summit held at the UN headquarters in New York. At the 2021 Uganda anniversary celebrations organized by Uganda High Commission in Kenya and Uganda Consulate General in Mombasa, Professor Businje gave an inspiring presentation on affordable, accessible, and quality education. She is a member of the Forum for African Women Educationists and board member at the Research and Education Network of Uganda, RENU. Ladies and gentlemen, that is Professor Janice, who will be our panelist this afternoon. I would like to request you to appreciate the depth and breadth of these people. Our second panelist, who will be assisting me as and when my network decides to disappoint me, is Mrs. Anita Malinga. Anita Malinga is the founder of Shine Leadership International, a youth-based organization that is dedicated to equipping and empowering the youth with 21st century skills. She is the author of 2 books that some of you might have come across, The Campus Challenge and Dear Young Adult, which is an inspirational 31 letters to young adults of Uganda. She is formerly a member of the Nkumba University Council and formerly the Deputy Director of Admissions at Kampala International University. She is currently the Director for Entrepreneurship, Innovation, and Community Engagement at St. Lawrence University. Ladies and gentlemen, Anita is very passionate about young people and especially creating change in the young people. And that's why Shine Leadership International, she's also passionate about building synergies. So that's the reason you see all these collaborations possible at Shine Leadership International. The other panelist that we have today is of Dr. Ambrose Chibuka. By the way, I didn't mention that Anita Malinga is a PhD candidate, and anytime from now, she will be. We'll have to change our title. Mr. Ambrose Chibuka is a CEO of Career Streams Limited. Now, Career Streams Limited, ladies and gentlemen, is one of the collaborators in making this day possible. And Mr. Ambrose Chibuka is CEO of Career Streams Limited, a company that provides consultant services in human capital development and organizational development. He is a specialist in human performance systems, which is the art and science of bringing out the best in people. He is a passionate educationist, a careers consultant and trainer with over 25 years of experience as a practitioner in participatory training, consulting, and research methodologies. So since 2000, he has undertaken over 100 consultancy assignments with a variety of local and international organizations in specific areas of his previous engagement that include creativity and innovation, building effective teams, transformational leadership, governance, performance management, effective management, emotional intelligence, curriculum development, personal development, among others. The spectrum of organizations Ambrose has consulted for include the UN agencies, international development agencies, foreign embassies, government ministries, departments and agencies, MDAs, local government, local and international non-government organizations, banks, the private sector institutions, among others. He is also a member of the Board of Trustees and University Council at KIU in Uganda and Tanzania, and as well, a member of the Board of Directors of the Public Policy Institute. Mr. Ambrose Chibuka has written so many books, and one of his groundbreaking books was, or actually is After University, What Next? This book was published in 2003 with the second edition done in 2008 and the third edition in 2018. This book has a readership of over 20 countries in Africa, in Europe, Asia, and North America. The book has been acclaimed as an ultimate companion on career strategy and personal development. We shall have a look at how that book looks much later this afternoon. However, his very first book on self-discovery and development, Remaking the Youth, was published in 2000. So we are talking about an author who has written so many books. You can always access his digital resources on his YouTube channel under the names Ambrose Chibuka Muchibi. He is a married man to Doreen Meta Muchibi, and they are blessed with 3 very amazing children. I can go on and on and on and speak about Ambrose Chibuka, and I want to welcome him on call this afternoon. Ladies and gentlemen, the third panelist is the host himself, who is myself. And now it is very hard to provide my profile, especially when I am talking about myself. I want to welcome you one more time and welcome the panelists. Dear panelists, you're most welcome to this session. And we will start immediately. We will immediately start and trickle into conversations of what we have come to do today. And I want to just invite these panelists to first say hello to you and give their opening remarks ahead of a very wonderful session. I would like to start with Professor Janice. Professor Janice, kindly unmute and say a word to these great people on call. Professor Janice, you're welcome.
Thank you so much, Augustine, and good afternoon, everyone. As we go into the evening, thank you for that wonderful introduction, and I also want to welcome our other panelists, whom I know all very well, and I'm so proud of their achievements. One of whom is my OB. We call each other OB and OG because somehow we passed through the same primary school here in Kampala, Mr. Ambrose Chibuka. So it's so nice when you walk into a place and you have somebody who knows those little tiny beginnings that mushroom into big things. So thank you so much for the introduction. As they have talked about all those different titles, sometimes they also intimidate me, but what I want to be most known for in my life on earth is that I'm a mother. I'm a mother of so many children, some of whom are at campus, some of whom have finished campus, and I pride myself in that because at the end of the day, that makes a lot of sense. So when I talk to young people, it's not out of the blue that I've lived the experience of being a mother to campusers. I've been on campus myself. I've seen what happens on campus, and I've been on the other side of administering. I've also seen and I've learned a few things that I think young people would benefit from, in their journey on campus and make it very interesting. I'm also a sports person. I love sports. I love working out. I love living a healthy lifestyle. And I wish all of us would do that. Then our hospitals would be at least not suffering from congestion from the most avoidable diseases. So that's, in addition to that introduction that they've already made, that is who I am. So thank you, Augustine. I submit.
Thank you, Prof. Good to see you. And I had a very rare opportunity of mentoring a team last year with Professor Janice. Thank you for always being there for the young people. I would now like to request Mr. Ambrose Chibuka to speak to us by way of introductory remarks. Thank you. And thank you, Professor Janice, for keeping time.
Thank you. Thank you, Augustine. And I'm very, I'm going to put on the video just for now. For those who may not know this face, Ambrose Chibuka, is my name. I've been introduced, and I'm excited to share this platform with all the people here. My OG, Professor Janice Businje. What she didn't tell you about that common primary school that she and I went to, it's a ghetto school somewhere in Mulago. And yeah, so we happened to find ourselves in the adult life as that being our common denominator. And it's exciting, like she said, meeting someone. It's not so common that you meet people from primary and you meet somewhere at the corporate level eventually in life. Why am I excited to be here is because for me, youth, anything to do with youth is really, I figured out, is what the Lord called me for, or brought me here to do. So, and I've been at this for the last 25 years, mentoring young people, really in a very private capacity, but also I've had the chance to teach at university in my previous years, and that was a golden time. But also God has given me the opportunity to traverse different institutions to have conversations with young people. And like it was introduced, for me, the question about young people going to school and learning and getting degrees and so on, for me, there is one question that still lingers, and that is the question behind the book that already was talked about. The question, after university, what next? In other words, the actual question is, you went to school, so what? So I'm excited to be here to have conversations with the freshers who are joining university. I was in your place in 1993, joining Makerere University. So I can imagine the excitement, and there's so many gray areas, unanswered questions. But I hope that the conversation we're about to have will make a contribution in helping you to clarify the path of your life at campus. Thank you.
Wow, beautiful. Clarifying your path at campus. What a way to end, Mr. Ambrose. I want to now invite Madam Anita to just give us introductory remarks, but also talk about Shine Leadership International in the next few minutes, and then we get to delve into the conversation of guiding the young people this afternoon. Madam Anita, over to you there.
Thank you so much, Mr. Lowell. Good to be here. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. We can also see you in very beautiful glasses. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm very happy to be here. My name is Anita Malinga, just like you've already introduced me. Thank you so much, Mr. Lowell, for that kind introduction. It's always quite an honor and privilege to be amidst the young people, but I'm also privileged to share this platform with my mentors, both of them, and you, my colleague, Olo. There is so much we do together, but and together we've been mentored by Professor Janice herself, and Mr. Ambrose Chivuka Mchibi, and we continue to gauge on their wisdom and knowledge in whatever we do. At least I can testify that these two have been pillars and continue to be pillars in my life, in my professional journey. Mr. Law, I'll share the website for Shine Leadership International. There's quite a lot that we do, and we want to invite the young people to get involved in the programs that Shine Leadership offers. It's on the socials. You can always go there and look it up. It's on the website. There's a lot of information. For those joining campus, there's this good book called The Campus Challenge, How to Survive and Excel at the University, and we'll be sharing more from it. But also there's Dear Young Adult. I'll be sharing it in our next discussions. I think I need to unpack some few copies. And some of the colleagues here on call, or the young people joining campus, will actually be awarded some of these books. At least I have some few copies to the most active participants this evening, those that will be joining campus. I have a few books I would like to give away, and through you, Mr. Lowell, we'll be able to share them. Thank you so much, and I am sure that everyone on call will be able to benefit a lot from this session. Thank you, and back over to you, Mr. Lowell.
Wow, beautiful. Thank you, Madam Anita. And I want to start this conversation from you. Basically, before we get to campus, there is that life we first experienced just before campus. And I wanted to pick your mind before we start campus conversations on how well and how good it is for a student that is transitioning between secondary life into university life. Why is it important for this kind of person to be self-aware? Why is it important for them to know what they actually can and can't do? And what is this self-awareness itself in your perspective, Madam Anita? Maybe that should start us off. Yes.
Again, thank you so much, Mr. Lowell. And I would like to, this is the book I was talking about. It's called Dear Young Adult, if you can see it, Mr. Lowell. Now, the issue of self-awareness, and it's the first letter that is written in my book. Self-awareness, very, very important for a young person. Now, trying to make it as simple as it can be, we need to know our strengths. We need to know our weaknesses as individuals. We need to know the opportunities that we have before us, but we also need to know the things that tend to threaten our continuity at campus. With the young people, I usually advise them to have a conversation with themselves, to do some kind of self-audit. Now, there are different personality types. And if there are young people on call who have not done a personality test, I encourage them to find time and do a personality test. Now, many of these personality tests are online. They will reveal to you your temperament. Your temperament, and feel free to write down these words. Sometimes they sound complicated, but as you get to research about them, they then tend to be a little bit more easier. Your temperament influences the way you respond naturally. It affects the way you talk. It impacts, or it influences the way you talk to people. It influences the way you respond to certain situations. It influences your levels of stress, your attitude, and it's therefore very important and critical for any young person to get to know their temperament. I'll give an example, or you'll go and research about them. There are 4 different temperaments, one of them being choleric, another being phlegmatic, another being melancholic, and another being sanguine. You will fall into dominantly, one of these will stand out as your main temperament. I'll give an example still. As a sanguine, you will find that you're very playful in everything that you do, be it in class. They are the ones who joke a lot and throw some kind of playful statements, and then the entire class will burst into laughter. Sanguines usually are the ones who tend to talk a lot in a way of storytelling. And therefore, sometimes they have a tendency of having a low concentration because they are always trying to move from one thing to another, from one conversation to another. The cholerics are the leaders. We've seen the prefects, we've seen the cholerics end up being prefects. They end up being the ones who, maintain order in school, order in class. They are the ones who are sometimes chosen upon to lead their fellow students. Now, the melancholies are the perfectionists. They are the students who will lay their beds and they don't want any other person to touch on that bed because they left it in a particular way. If you came and touched it, you'll be disorganizing and it can easily irritate them. And then the phlegmatics are the peaceful ones. You may not know whether they are excited or they are sad because their temperament is usually very stable. Now, each of these temperaments has strengths and has weaknesses. For example, a choleric, yes, in as much as they like putting things in order, they're the ones who want to set goals and achieve them at whatever cost. They tend to be a little bit impatient with in a way to get, their results immediately. And because of that, they may end up stepping on some people's toes, They will come off as more dominant, as dictators and things like that. And before you know it, they are conflicting with many people. Now, why learners need to know their temperaments is because if you don't know your temperament, you're going to conflict with so many people. If you're choleric, you'll conflict with a phlegmatic because you may think they are too slow, they are not understanding things very fast in class, or you're trying to explain to them and things don't come off as easily. But sometimes these temperaments will also come before us as our lecturers, our colleagues who are discussing things for us. The earlier we get to know them, then we start interacting with people in a less conflicting manner. And so when you know your temperament, you will know your strength, you will know your weakness, you will know how to manage yourself, and the mental health issues will also be well managed. Mr. Lowo, I don't know how far I can stress that, but I think the key point here is discover who you are, get to know your temperament, get to know your strength, get to know your weaknesses, so that your interrelationships with other people are not always conflicting, be it your supervisors, your lecturers, your roommates, because it's one of the issues at campus. Roommates tend to conflict a lot, and it's one of the biggest challenges of students who are joining the university. When you know your temperament and you know the temperament of your roommates, you will be able to associate with them in a much, much better way. Beyond that, we'll need to have a one-on-one discussion to help you discover your temperament in a more one-to-one conversation. Over to you, Mr. Lowe. Thank you.
Beautiful. It is important for you to discover who you are so that you avoid having issues with people that are around you at the university. Thank you very much, Madam Anita, for that very wonderful one. Now, as we try to transition into university, there is also another important aspect for every fresher or young person out there that is about to or has just joined the institutions of higher learning to know, and that is the importance of setting goals. Now, I want to invite Professor Janice to, even before someone thinking about getting into university, before paying fees, before all these things, it is important as a young person that you set goals for yourself, to set and have key performance indicators for yourself joining the university. I want to pick up your mind on this, Professor Janice. Why is it important for somebody joining campus to have a goal and look after the goal, plan for the goal, and get into achieving the goal, and walk us through the procedures briefly on how these goals can be set and how they can be realized and actualized? Over to you, Prof.
Thank you, Augustine, and good afternoon once again. On goal setting, I want to go into the complexities of defining what a goal is. I mean, you can just, these days you can just Google and find out what a goal is, and then you tailor that into your everyday life to know. But I want to approach it from the aspect of purpose, because different people who have been speaking have talked about purpose. So that's where I want to start it from, because in order to make or formulate a goal for your life, you need to establish first what is the purpose. What is your purpose? And the purpose, I take it from the broader perspective of what is your purpose in life. When you wake up, what gets you out of bed? Why do you think whoever made you, whoever created you, I'm a Christian, so I believe that God created me. And if I believe that God created me, then why did he create me? Finding that purpose is so important. Some people find their purpose in life early on in life. Some find it late in life, and others die without never knowing what their purpose is. And it is very sad for any human being who was created and has lived on earth to live their life and not know what their purpose is on earth. Let me take an example of the example of Judas Iscariot, for me, who is a Christian, and those who have read the Bible. We all know, and those who don't, who have not read the Bible, who are not familiar with it, we all know that there is a man who betrayed Jesus, and his name was Judas Iscariot. Now, Judas Iscariot got some little money, 30 pieces of silver, and sold out his teacher. He's the person who had come and he was among the 12 disciples. So he decided to just sell out and tell the people who are going to kill Jesus where they were, where Jesus was. So it was very easy for those who were planning to kill Jesus to go look for him and eventually take him to where they are going to crucify him. But if we take it back to the idea of purpose, Judas actually played his role in the purpose in life. He was created, he was born, he came into Jesus' life as the one, in order for Jesus to fulfill the goal that he was set out to do, he needed to be betrayed. And unfortunately for Iscariot, the person who was going to do that was Judas. Judas may never have understood the bigger picture or why he did what he did, but that is it. That is purpose. So for us as human beings in our lives and as we go along, we have to establish exactly what our purpose is. Like, what is your purpose? Why do you think God fashioned you, made you in your mother's womb and put you on earth? Because he knew you before you were born. So if he knew you before you were born, then he must have created you with a purpose in mind. So in order, as you go through life, as you go through your trajectory, your career pathway, university, all things, you have to understand what is your purpose, what is your calling, what has God called you on earth to do, or what has whoever called you on earth, what have they called you for? And when you find that purpose, then your life becomes much easier. Then you know exactly where you're headed. And that goes along with passion. When you find purpose, it is very passionate when you go and you fulfill that. For instance, we know that it is the season of Olympics. Like, there are people who are called to be sports people, not just sports people, but to move it to be the best that they can be and go to the Olympics. But even when you go to the Olympics, there are those who are called to be gold medal winners. Everybody puts in their best, but there is somebody who is going to walk out with the gold. So how that happens is dependent on so many factors. But the most important thing is to understand why. Why were you created? So in going to campus, you have to also ask yourself, okay, how does going to campus fit in with the purpose for which I was created or for which I was made? When you know that, then even goal setting becomes easier. Because for you, career won't be just won't just be a job that you will walk into in a day, do and go home stressed out and tired, and curse the whole world, your bosses, your co-workers, your what, then you become a complaining worker. It will be something that you enjoy. When you wake up and you stand and you're doing your work, do you enjoy it? Is there a passion to it? Is there, when you walk into a program, and especially for first years who are joining campus, because of our nature of education, sometimes you find that the course that you wanted is not the course that you have been offered. Maybe for you wanted to go and do medicine, or you wanted to do pharmacy, or you wanted to do this, but then your abilities or your marks did not take you there. Even if you are to go in, you do it, but you find your marks can't take you there. So what happens is you get one. Maybe you are hoping to be a doctor, now all of a sudden you are in an education class doing a Bachelor of Science education, or maybe you are doing a diploma in ABC, depending on your circumstances and situation. So that can be a setback, because if you cannot find purpose in that which you're going for, then the motivation to wake up every day and go to class, because like they said, one of the presenters who was presenting said, nobody will wake you up on campus. On campus, it is your goals that will wake you up. And as you continue in life, some people say, well, the alarm clock will be your problems. They'll wake you up. I hope that none of us has those problems that, sound the alarm clock. But adulting is what it is. So you may find you're stressed out about something, and that wakes you up. So it is what wakes you up out of your bed to go to a lecture. If you're not enjoying it, if it's not fun, if you're not purposeful about it, then it becomes very difficult for you to enjoy. So goal setting starts from purpose. And then after that, when you have known your purpose, then you feed the career goal fits into. So for you say, okay, now that I know my purpose, what am I going to do? What do I want to do? If I am going on campus and this is not what I bargained for, or this is not what I hoped I would get, how am I going to make it meaningful and purposeful for me to enjoy? And how am I going to make it purposeful for me to enjoy this? Maybe what I thought was my calling isn't actually my calling. Maybe in here where I am, I'll find purpose. We have different ways there are different ways of killing a bird. So you may find you want your route to be this, and you feel you're meant for this. But there is an age where we all are extremely confused about life. So you can find you have like 5 purposes, 5 career goals, 5 what in one day or in 1 week, and you're changing, and it's important to note them down. So when you've known your career pathway, like what do you want to do? Some people are lucky, like they know what they want to do from the time they are in kindergarten, and they never go away from that. But there are those who are not so lucky. So you want to say, okay, if I'm not that lucky, or whether I'm lucky or not, I keep asking myself, is this what fulfills me? Is it what I want to do when I leave campus? And then you look at that career and then check the people who graduate from that program, for instance, what kind of work do they engage in? And then you familiarize yourself with that work. If it is being a lawyer, we come from school when they are telling, being a lawyer is this, is that, is that, is that. Somebody just said that they were joining KIU as first years and they're coming next week. You're very welcome to KIU. So if you're going to join, and you're going to join the School of Law, there are people who come into School of Law and study, and they complete, and after that they're like, this is not what even I wanted to do. Me, like, why did I even graduate from this? So some worse still, they join, and because it's not what they wanted, at every moment when you hit a snag, you're like, it's not even what I wanted. I wanted something different, and then I end up being given this. Me, I would have done better if I had been given something different. But now see where I am. So you become a complainant, you become a complaining student all the days of your student life, and there is no enjoyment to it. So it is for you to find that purpose, then your career, how it will fit into that purpose. Then start setting your goals, and your goals, you're going to look at, okay, they are going to be realistic goals. You know your academic potential. You know what you are able to achieve. You know what you can do. Do not set goals that are not realistic. Like you say, okay, you've come from school and you know that you're not very academically, proficient, you struggle a little bit. But then you say, me, I'm aiming for whichever one now, I'm going to Harvard for law. And you're saying, but now, okay, if we look at your history, like, okay, how do you hope to get to Harvard for law? That means if KIU calls you, you'll not be happy because your purpose is different. Your career, you wanted your career to go a certain way and you had already thought it out. But then how to get there was a challenge. So you set your goal that is realistic, that you can achieve. When you do a self-awareness test, then you know what your personality is. Then also test yourself in terms of, if this goal that I've set myself for, is it out of this world or is it actually achievable? Given all my circumstances, is it achievable? Can I achieve it? So the goal has to be realistic. It has to be achievable because you have a short time frame at a university within which you must achieve that, and then focus on setting that goal that will lead you to a career that you want. You familiarize yourself with the employment field, the employers, because when you do that, like Alan was sharing, she was teaching, but it's not by accident that she taught. She knew she wanted to be a teacher. She went out into the university, but then she said, let me try out the field and I see what it is. Some people graduate and the only field experience you have is internship. You went for internship for 2 months, 1.5, 2 months, and you're done. And you don't know what else happens there. Familiarize yourself with the field. If you want to be a lawyer, get mentors who are in that field, get a law firm, go there on weekends, serve them. When you have free time, instead of spending it playing around campus or entertaining different things, you go there and participate in those activities and see what they actually do, such that your goal that you're going to set for yourself on campus will be as realistic as possible. So that's what I can submit about goal planning and achieving those goals. Thank you, Augustine.
Wow. Understanding the nexus of purpose, creating and being aware of the bigger picture, setting realistic goals, those with a specific time bound, is important. Thank you very much, Prof. And now I would like to engage Mr. Ambrose Chibuka on this one. You have written books. You have probably been at campus for quite a good period of time, a significant one, at least over the time that, over my age, at least we Gen Zs can now talk. But in this whole endeavor, you have interacted with a little bit or a lot of creativity. You've had to appreciate innovation somewhere, and you also have had to appreciate exposure somewhere as a means of getting into what a student wants, especially at campus. The question every campuser now has in their mind is, these opportunities that Professor Janice, that Alan are talking about, where do I get them from? And I would like to invite your attention into this. How does a student transition from just being an ordinary student to one that is able to identify opportunities and go for them? Why is it important for a student to place him or herself at some level and be able to expose themselves to the world out there so that they are able to get something realistically important out of their lives? How do I, as a student, scout for these opportunities, and how do I know that this is the right opportunity for me to take up as a fresher, as a young adult, as a student joining university? Over to you.
Wow, thank you very much, Mr. Olo. And the question you have asked, its answer actually lies in our very midst this afternoon. You are asking me a concept that I have written in that book that I showed after University What Next. There's a concept I called opportunity recognition quotient. One's ability to recognize opportunities, however disguised they may be. Now, campus is a place full of opportunities, but even before I go there, I don't want to talk in terms of future. I want to talk in terms of now, and I'll explain that. So Professor Janice's submission.
Maybe Mr. Chibuka, in your submission, maybe you'd also assist us with a valuable, valid definition of what exactly a university is going forward. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. So I was saying that Professor Janice, in her presentation, her submission, she made a statement, and that statement, among others, I perceive it to be a grand opportunity for many who are on this call to test their capabilities, for example, in social marketing. She said, and I quote, "Nobody will wake you up at campus. At campus, it is your goals that will wake you up." Now, I want to challenge the Gen Zs, and I guess apart from the panelists, most likely the rest are. I want to challenge you. Can you take that quote in its entirety with the author, who is Professor Janice Businje, on it, and popularize it among your peers? I want to see it going viral, especially among the circles of freshers at the various campuses that we have in Uganda. Now, that's a challenge I'm putting to you. And I'm going to watch and see if that quote will come my way from even circles that are beyond you guys. That's how I will know. If I see it going viral, then I will know that someone here has seen the value in that statement and has seen that they can utilize their digital competences, digital skills, to maybe even design it. Maybe there is, I don't know what you can do with it. But for me, it is an opportunity, just that statement. Now, why did I begin with that? Because I want to show you that the opportunities are all around us. The way God created the universe, and I'm now also connecting to Madame Anita's presentation, when she talked about temperaments, I know she was limited by time, but normally when she explains that, she also invokes that statement, which is derived from Genesis 1:26 and 27. The fact that we are created in God's image, and then that begs the question, so what is that God's image in which we are created? What are the attributes of God that we do share? And normally when Madame Anita has long time in her session, she will explain that actually each one of us in our respective temperaments, those temperaments are derived directly from God, even those ones that we may perceive to be negative, such as if you have jealous, if you're a jealous person, yes, just know you serve a jealous God as well. If sometimes you are very tough and you even border on being violent, just know God is also that sometimes. You ask the Egyptians and the Amalekites and so on, and they will tell you that God, how he is. So all those temperaments. And so just that you as an individual cannot have all of those attributes of God. So he distributes them among all of us. We are over 7 billion people now on the planet Earth, and no one is exactly like the other, because God only distributes himself in all of us. Why? So that we may need each other, so that we can only complement each other. No one can be self-contained. So if that's the case, it means that the way God created the universe and we the human beings in it is such that everybody will need everybody else or somebody else. And that means that opportunities are all around us, because it is as simple as identifying that which you have or which you can give that other people cannot give or do not have, or that which you can learn to do that other people are not in position to learn to do or have not been privileged to learn to do. And so you can provide a service to them. And that straight away, that means an opportunity. Now, I want to address this before I come to the last bit, which is addressing a straight answer to the question that you asked. Dear campusers, now I call you campusers because by all indications, it's a matter of hours or days, and you'll be in the classrooms of campus and in the hostels of campus. The purpose of university education is not to prepare you for a hypothetical future, okay? So you are not going to campus to prepare for a hypothetical future. No. The real purpose of university education is to empower you to live optimally now. Now. Not in future, not when you graduate. No. It is now. And so if you perceive this in its clarity, then you will know that from day one, when you step at campus, you will be looking around you, because all around you are opportunities for you to invoke your God-given potentials, which is what Professor Janice has been talking about, and which is what also Madam Anita talked about. How did God create you? What seeds did God put in you? How does that point to your purpose? And now, how does the campus environment provide opportunities for you to, one, sharpen your ability to deliver on your purpose, and two, for you to be useful to other people by adding value to their lives? How do we add value to other people's lives? I'm going to answer that. I would like also to explain that, by the way, God did not create professions. Okay, you can take this from me, and after taking it from me, you can go back and do your homework, comb the Bible from Genesis up to the last full stop in Revelation. God did not create professions. Instead, God created vocations. Okay? Professions are our way, we the modern society, are human beings' ways of devising means to sharpen our ability to deliver on our vocations. Now, what does the word vocation mean? Vocation comes from a Latin word, vocare, which means to call. So, vocation means that which God called you to do, which takes us back again to what Professor Janice was talking about, the purpose. So if you have not discovered what God is calling you or called you to do, my dear brother and sister, I want to suggest to you that make that your full-time homework until you have figured it out. Because the profession you are going to study, for example, I think it was Chance Nalubega who said the first one to share her experience. I think she said she has enrolled for MBCHB, that is the Bachelor of Medicine and Surgery at KIU. So that is the profession you are going to study. Those who are going to study law, that is the profession. Those who are going to study education, that is the profession, engineering, and so on and so forth. Your profession does not define you. Your profession is just one of the things that you are going to learn. And your profession, ideally, if we were to pursue education in its rightful way, your profession should be just a means or a tool for you to sharpen your vocation, enabling you to deliver well on your vocation. Now, I want to end with the point which in a way answers the question directly. What opportunities and how do we identify these opportunities? And I've said that even before we talk about opportunities, because opportunities are there. Excuse me for being radical, but I want to use this example in order to deliver the point. At campus, there are opportunities for prostitutes, okay? At campus, there are opportunities for thieves, for murderers. There are opportunities for caregivers. There are opportunities for gospel preachers. There are opportunities for people who are, transforming community. There are opportunities for everyone. So it's not an issue of opportunity. It is an issue of what are you here to do? Now, when you have defined that, you will see the opportunities. Now, let me share with you my experience briefly. For me, from primary 3, I knew that I wanted to be a priest, a Catholic priest. I only shared that with my elder brother and parents after P7 results were out. Then I went to the priest at Mulago and told him, I want to go to the seminary. He asked me, have you ever told anyone? I told him, no. Anyway, fast forward, funny things happened in between there. I found myself in the seminary in 1987, Nyenga Seminary. So I studied. And along the way, so I was even the head boy in the seminary. The head boy is called Dean of Students. And then I resigned, but in my resignation, it was funny because in my mind, I knew I wanted to be a priest, but I thought that they were not teaching us well. So I wanted to go out and do senior 6 from out, smash very well, and then come back. So fast forward, I passed senior 6 on government sponsorship to go to Makerere University. Then I go back to the priests and I tell them, you see, I have passed very well. Government has given me to go to Makerere, but I want to come back to pursue to become a priest. And the guy told me, no, excuse me, things don't work like that. So anyhow, I went to Makerere University. But even in my first year at Makerere, I knew I wanted to be a priest. And to be honest with you guys, I studied throughout the 3 years at Makerere, and I didn't have any career vision in mind. There's nothing I had in terms of clarity. But then later on, I think around 2011, clarity occurred to me that actually the reason why I wanted to be a priest is because in my calling, in what I feel in my heart, I was born to serve people. And in 2011, that's when I got the clarity of my career mission statement. That is helping individuals and organizations to discover their potential and become the best they can be. Now, you see, this is what I figured out later. So I even eventually learned that it is not only in priesthood that you do that, okay? Now, when you have figured that out to that depth, you'll see opportunities everywhere. And I see opportunities all over the place. So when you're at campus, please read newspapers. Newspapers, yes, you are Gen Zs and what, but I'm telling you, nothing beats a newspaper. If you have an opportunity to land on a newspaper, you will see opportunities every time. If you see seminars, whichever, even things that don't concern you, it may be in the medical school, as long as they don't lock you out, go there. An idea will struck you. The Holy Spirit speaks to us, those of you who believe in the Holy Spirit. The Holy Spirit or God speaks to us through mechanisms created by human beings. It could be seminars. It could be a program you see on TV. It could be anything. So how do you identify opportunities as I close? By being open-minded and listening, reading, not sleepwalking through life. Opportunities will unveil themselves to you as long as you have clarity of purpose. I submit.
Thank you so much. Very, very beautiful and insightful over there. In whatever you do, if you are interested in opportunity, you must have clarity of purpose. What a way to close. Ladies and gentlemen, we have understood from Mr. Ambrose over there that actually opportunity is actually identifying that which you can do that other people cannot do. You also know now that God did not create you for professions, but for a calling, vocation, a calling. We want to thank you, Mr. Ambrose, for those very insightful words. And now I want to invite, and ladies and gentlemen, while Mr. Ambrose was speaking through his presentation, I actually discovered that I have a story to tell you, but I will tell you much, much later. But Professor Janice, most of the things that we face at campus, when we get to campus, is social life. Like someone rightly said, there is a lot of freedom at campus. And I want to tell those that have not stepped into campus yet that things to do with uniform are not there. Nobody will cane you over how short or how long your hair should be. And so this responsibility is about yourself. I want to invite one more time Professor Janice to take us through how can a student balance between academic and social life. I am meant to understand as well that the university programs, the university curriculum avails even time for you to attend to social events. How do you then strike balance between academic and social life while at campus? Professor Janice, you're welcome. You may handle mental health as well in the same, you may want to handle mental health in the same question. Thank you.
Okay. So balancing social life and academic life. And I will take it from the thread of what Mr. Ambrose has been sharing, but also what I last submitted on setting your goals. The balance at campus, one will find that it becomes very helpful to create a balance when you know exactly what you're balancing and what the goal of that is. So whatever does not fit into your goals at campus, just let it slide. It's not a train smash. You're not running the Olympics. There's no competition. Let it slide. You have not gone to campus to die reading books. You can be an Albert Einstein, but understand that there is natural abilities that God gives us, and then there is what our environment gives us. So don't be a social, what they call them. I don't want to use a social bore. Like, don't have a boring life at campus, because there is so much that you learn from the social life at campus, as much as academic life. Don't go bury your head in books. You walk in and out of the campus, and socially, it's like you never happened. You didn't know what happens. And why is that? Because there will come a time when you might want to make up for what you did not do. And sometimes you look so funny to find that you're doing things of campus as when you're off campus already. So you have an apartment, yes, you went through campus, but you want to party every day. You want to go hang out with your friends every day. You want to, You have not understood that actually now you finished campus, now you hold a job down, so there is time for work and then there is time for hanging out. So it is first identify, understand what your academic requirements are on campus. What does the academics require of you? What are your starting timetable times? What are your lecture times? What are your lecturer consultation times? What are those academic activities? Because you've gone to the university to pass and get a degree. That is the basic, bottom line. You have got to get that qualification and bring it back home. So understand what you're supposed to do academically on campus in order to get that, to bring it home. It is not enough to go into a lecture and just sit. On campus, there are discussions. So understand exactly what academic activities are you going to be involved in on campus, and how are those important to your study program. Then you say, okay, if there is a lecture happening at this and this time, I have a discussion at this and this time, I have to meet up and consult with the lecturer at this and this time. This time is for library. So all those academic activities, this time is for a seminar, all those academic activities. And then from there, you say, okay, now, given the time that I have, given the activities that I have, how much time of mine is left to engage in other activities? So you find there are guild unions on campuses. The guild unions, that's a leadership body of the university, of university students. So there are guilds activities, then there are school activities or faculty activities, activities that are organized socially. And I'm not talking of beach parties every weekend, you go dress all kinds of ways and you come to engage in your beach parties. No, but there are social activities. It could be a debating club that you have. It could be a social responsibility club. It could be a wildlife club. It could be anything. So explore your environment to understand what social activities are there. Then see which ones fit in, one, with your personality, because you've already come from self-awareness, and two, that fit in with your career goal, and that fit in with your passions and interests. So you might be interested in doing football or joining the basketball team or other things like that. Understand what different activities exist on campus. And when you have that knowledge and you understand exactly what is there, then you say, okay, the best I can say is God will guide you to get wisdom to choose which one to balance with what. Then you know the times that you have for your academics, you know the times that you have for your social activities. And then you engage in both of them harmoniously without one taking time off the other or taking concentration off the other. The tendency is that some kids get on campus, some students get on campus, and you are excited, and it's okay to be excited to get on campus. You see things that you have never seen. Some of you, your parents have never let you out of their sight. Some of you have been tugging on your mother's robes since you were born. Even if you went to secondary school, but they drove you up to the entrance inside, you entered. If you wanted to go home, they come and pick you. Then they take you back. Then end of time, they come, they put for you your bags, and then they carry you. We've seen it at campus where you're just seated there in your office, like maybe if you happen to be on a Sunday in office, and you see a person arriving, maybe they are coming from, I'm going to just use an example, not that they come from there, no, maybe they're coming from Kanungu, or maybe from Nakapiripirit there. They have their sack of charcoal, they have their sigiri, they have their suitcase, they have their mattress. They packed them off and put them on a bus. For them, they got a border and reached campus, or they got an Uber and reached campus. And they come to the reception like on a day like this, on a Sunday, and they are saying, so what next? Like you're still in your high school mode. You don't know that campus, basically it is to whom it may concern. As long as you come to the lecture, not many people are going to worry about your social life. Your social life is yours to manage, you know. Your social life is yours to manage, and you're going to manage it yourself. So when you get into campus, the first day, some campuses will prepare a reception teams for you. They'll be able to receive you, to say, okay, this is where you must go. This is where the hostels are. This is where others will hand you a freshers joining handbook. It has a campus map. It will show you where you're supposed to go. It will show you the different social activities. And the social activities tend to gain more coverage than the academic activities. For academic activities, it's you to go to your department, it's you to get your timetable, it's you to, there is no teacher who is going to come and say, okay, class, now wake up, now run to prep. Now it is up to you to organize your activities and have a plan for the day. Every day when you wake up, I mean, you've already found your purpose. You've set your career goal. You've explored the environment. You've done self-awareness. You've all these things that we are talking about. And then you say, okay, now these are my activities. I'll be in class, maybe up to, and you find university lectures, sometimes they run up to 1 or even midday, you'll be done with your lectures. So all that time, what are you going to be doing? Even if you find a job, but you need to maintain your social activities. Why? Because that's where we let off stress. Campus can be stressful. That's where we meet friends and we network. Your social networks are your net worth. If you don't know anybody, you want to have OBs from university whom you're going to walk into offices and find them seated there. And when you say care you, it's not strange to them. They help you because of that commonality, that common denominator. So you need to be in spaces where you can grow and learn at the same time. And that's where many people get it wrong. So you find, because they've told you that you can go, there is no freedom, there is no parent to run after you. You say, I've seen there are bars all over this place. Never taken alcohol. You just go and drink yourself to, and come back, and you can't wake up to go to the lecture the next day. When we were at campus, we had students who had come, very good grades, they came, government sponsorship, blah, 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 blah. But you find somebody every day, they are friends of ours that you had to walk into to go to their room. You go to their room and you have to wake them up because the lecture is starting and the lecture rooms are near the halls of residence. You know that friend of yours, for them waking up is a problem because they have been partying the whole night. You have to run. When it is 8:30 and the lecturer is about to enter, like, where is he? Where is he? Where is she? Everybody runs around. And that time we didn't have mobile phones, unfortunately. They hadn't yet been prominent. So you run, you go. This one calls, this one, the lecture is starting. You come back and sit in class before the lecturer comes. But then you know there are your friends there who really would rather be sleeping than come to the lecture. So you have to make sure that you understand the different activities that you have to do and then balance them. Campus, like I said, is not a race. Even if you sleep with 20 men, even if you sleep with 20 girls or 50 or 100, there is nobody who is going to give you a medal at the end of your campus life. Even if you drink and you become the best drunk in the world, there are no medals for drinking. At the end of the day, you're going to end up into alcohol abuse. Even if you use drugs and you do substance abuse and you do what, there are no medals for that. The only medal that you can take from a campus is your paper, your academic paper. But when you create social network and social activities that allow you to engage in releasing your stress and engaging in something that is going to give you happy hormones, because we need to activate our happy hormones. And they're not just going to come just by going to class every day. You are bookworm, people know you, you are not. You just go, you're moving around with your laptop, all looking so serious. That is not campus. Be serious. Yes, maybe that's because it's your personality, but can you have some time to enjoy yourself? Live life, like live a little, but balance it. Because why? Mental health is very important. For us women, or for us ladies, or for girls, when somebody stresses you, it is very easy for you to get another girl and your best friend, or even if they're not your best friend, but they have a listening ear. They listen and you're like, this and this happened to me. And you share and find solutions. men are not that lucky because our socialization process and our social life from our homes, from our schools, from our what, they teach us that revealing what somebody did to you or revealing your problems is a weakness. And yet it is actually a strength. So they don't get as much peer-to-peer counseling as others, as some of us. And because of that, you find that the mental health of the boys is much more affected than the mental health of the girls. So on campus, it is important to focus on your mental health. We've had people saying how they'll commit suicide, how they'll do what, because the generation that we are now having is a generation of the Gen Z, I think. Yeah, the Gen Zs are the ones who are coming into campus. Your life is like you're used to everything happening at breakneck speed. Like you want food, boil noodles, boil water, pour in, get noodles, eat. You want to go to town, you're not going to stand the traffic jam, jump on a border, you've reached campus. You want, like everything is fast, like you must get everything at your fingertips. And when you want to do that with your social life, with your academic life, you want answers that are so quick. Sometimes some answers don't come so quick. You end up stressed about things that shouldn't be stressing you, because it won't, if it doesn't kill you, to make you stronger. So you engage in activities and you do them, and then they stress you out because you want everything to happen at the same time. At the same time. I must go to party. I must pass my exams. I must see my parents. I must check on my siblings. I must check on my friends. I must go to this friend's house. I must do this. I must get a boyfriend. I must have the latest iPhone. I must have the latest laptop. I must get the good clothes. It's not a competition. So at some point you have to relax. And because of this, has caused a lot of stress to your mental health. So your mental health, guard it jealously, because the other side is not very pleasant. Why you lose it? When you lose it, people will not want to associate with you. So understand those things that will take away your stress. For me, when I leave work and I'm so stressed, I just go to the gym. I dance, I box, I kick. So everybody whom I didn't kick in the office, I kick. A boxing, I kick my trainer's hands because he puts gloves. So I kick, I box, I do what? But with that, I'm kicking everything out of my system that was stressing me. Some, you'll find your relaxation in church, maybe. You just go just by listening to a sermon, just like listening to a song or listening to a worship song, or going and sitting just in the presence of God just relaxes you. And that is also okay. So find that thing that takes away the worst stress from your system, because that will be your lifeline. Even in your adult age, you will need it. We have so many stressed people walking around, and they make life a living hell for others. Because you're stressed, you want others to join you in your stress party. You want others to join in your pity party. You want others to, you don't want to see anybody happy. You don't want to see anybody unstressed. If I'm stressed, the whole world should be stressed. If they are not stressed, then there's a problem. I must also stress them. So you have to be able to understand that your mental health is important. And if you realize that things are not working out, however tough your parent is, there is no parent who wants a mentally disturbed child or who wants a dead child. Go back home and surrender. If you can't surrender to your parents, at least surrender to God. Just take it to your altar, whichever altar that is, as long as it's not a shrine. Just to go and take it to your Creator and say, you know what, God, we started this and we were together, but where I am right now, I feel extremely stressed. I cannot manage. God will give you the wisdom on how you communicate that to your parents. And if He gives you that wisdom, take it on. Just stay alive. Live your life and enjoy it on campus. Understand why mental health is important. Even if it is your parents who are stressing you, find a way of killing off that stress without being disrespectful. Because some parents can be stressful. Yes, they know you can't manage Bachelor of Medicine, but because they want to have a doctor in the family, they want to say, you are going to do medicine by all means. You fail the first semester, fail the second semester, do everything you can. You come back, the parent says, I am telling you, by hook or crook, hey, hell or hey, whatever fire, you are going to do this course. Find somebody who will listen to you and be able to download that information to your parents in terms that they'll understand, because the downside is not as impressive. I've talked for a long time. Yeah, I submit, Augustine.
Wow, beautiful. Manage your stress levels, but also don't compete. Don't be jealousy of those that you'll find at campus. I normally see you. Okay, now these ones are freshers. I normally see young people struggling, especially when they see someone has plaited a little bit inexpensive hair. I find them the following day very stressed with their ugly hair, looking up and about for someone to take care of them. Please know who you are, understand what position you hold, and when things fail, surrender. Thank you so much. We are also streaming live on YouTube, so you may want to tell some of your friends that have not been able to get the Zoom link to basically just go on YouTube and pick out a few of these things that we are saying and follow us through and make sense out of what we're saying. Now, in pursuit of having a good life and in pursuit of struggling here and there to get something that is better for you, I want to recognize the fact that there are normally hardships, a lot of hardships at campus, basically because you see, not everybody that gets to campus is from a wealthy family. Not everybody that gets into campus has some pocket money with them. Some of us got to campus with our bags on our backs, and some people came with nothing. And now I want to invite one of the very few people that are alive to the reality that they went through hardships at campus but managed to get out of it, to share her story. And maybe some of you will pick a leaf from that conversation before we go to the next item for us to talk about today. I want to invite one of the very few ladies that I know in this country who is very brilliant at what she does, but very passionate about what she does, especially in working with the young people, and who went to university, left her profession, and now decided to follow her passion to give us her life story of campus life, and then tell us what she's doing at the moment. I want to request Madam Aisha to unmute and speak to us. Madam Aisha Ganda, you're most welcome.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Olo, Mr. Olo. Wow, it's very hard to speak after you hear Prof. Janice, Mr. Chibuka, Madam Anita speak. It's very hard. But I'm going to do my best, also because whatever I've been told to speak about is my story. Well, I am very excited to speak to young people. Very, very much excited at every opportunity. I really thank God for today and for how far we've moved. It's like I am getting lessons as if I'm always a student, because even now I am in school. Like you said, I am now studying my passion at the moment, but these reflective moments have kept coming. And I really thank the previous speakers for whatever they have delivered for us. Prof. Janice is really a mother. I could feel it in her, speech, and we could go on and on and on. But yeah, thank you so much. I listened to you so heartily speak, and it has really had an impact on me as well. Aisha Ganda I am a social entrepreneur and a founder of Rija Organics Limited, and this is a social enterprise which empowers women and youth by designing and deploying innovative and sustainable solutions to enable them attain SDGs. SDGs, for those who don't know, are Sustainable Development Goals. We have two initiatives. One, that is the Skill Uganda campaign, where we do teach women and youth in various vocational skills, both soft skills and the other vocational hands-on skills, to enable them make, something out of their life, financially, but also help the community advance. Then we also have for you, which is a social enterprise that adds value to agricultural products to make herbal teas, healthy snacks, spices, nutritional, we offer nutritional advice to people. Basically, we help individuals live an optimal life by giving them health and nutritional advice. We use the complementary and alternative medicine approach. Yeah, naturopathy, for those who know. I am very excited to speak, like I said, and all of this is going to make sense later on as I speak and why it's like this. It didn't start like this. I remember I joined campus in 2016. I started my Form 6 in 2014. So I should have joined in 2015. But due to certain challenges, mostly financial, I didn't join. And I'm sharing this with you because I know there are some people who are here and they didn't join campus right away. Probably they stopped studying in a certain year and they had a break because of money or any other reason they didn't join. I personally didn't join right away. So I joined in 2016. Now, after joining, we start year one. By the grace of God, the first semester went well. I studied, did did papers. Now time came to the second semester. Yeah, second semester, I studied up to, I think, the third quarter of it. And it came to a point where I was requested by my dad, who is the breadwinner, to apply for a dead semester. We were almost doing papers, I remember. A dead semester, for those who don't know, is when you go to, let's say, the finance department and you tell them, oh, by the way, before I even continue, I was a student at KIU, Kampala International University in Kansanga, pursuing a diploma in business administration. So when I was asked to do that, it's because you go to the finance department, tell them you're unable to complete because of several reasons. You state your reason. It could be health, financial, or any other thing. Mine was financial because my dad, who is a breadwinner, had to undergo a spinal surgery. It was very absurd at the moment, a blessing in disguise, I should say right now, but I couldn't see it then. He was so sick, he was trying to battle for his life, and we were many in school. And now me, who was at the topmost then, had to surrender so that the young ones could stay in school and some of the money is used for his operation. So it was a very tough decision. I remember at that time, we were almost doing papers and they were giving out examination cards. So we're in a group discussion and my friends were issuing. So they kept saying, after papers, we are going to go and, pick examination cards. So they all went after the discussion. We came back for another session. So they kept asking, hey, wait, where is your exam card? Everyone fronted theirs. I didn't have mine. So I was like, I'm going to get. Then it came to the following day. Everyone said they got. Where is yours? I didn't have. Another time, I didn't have. Time came when we were almost doing the papers. Now time had really neared and I didn't have until one of them was concerned. And this person was like, and we talk after. I was like, okay, the discussion kept going. Meanwhile, I kept going to school. I kept going to school. I remember dad always telling me, he would always plead to mom, hey, man, we don't have money. You know the situation. Because really there was no money and we were on tension because that surgery is also kind of scary. So we didn't know whether we were going to have him survive through it. So we really had to save every penny possible. So, but I kept going to school and I would tell mom, God, I'll find a way. God will make a way. God will make a way. So this friend puts me on the side and he asked me, what's happening? After so many, after asking, I was so shy, I was scared, but now this person told me, it's okay, you can tell me. I told them, you see, I haven't paid. My money has accumulated late payment fees on top of what they were charging me, so I'm unable to continue. So like, what are you going to do? How come every day you've been coming to discuss for us? I was brilliant at campus, Munange, for some reason, I thank God. So I used to lead discussions all over the place because me, I know, even in the guild, by the way, I was in the guild, but not as a guild leader, but I was always with the guild doing several kinds of work. For, I don't know whether anyone is from KIU in the times of 2016, 17, 18. We must have come across several times, yeah, in the guild leadership because I was with them, we're doing trainings, and I was very proactive. So this person supported me. He lent me money. Yeah, that's the very highest amount of money I had by then. I'd never even actually held such money because the highest was when I took it to pay my tuition. That was 500,000. And the plan was that when I get this money, 500, I'm going to deposit. And when I deposit it, fine, I'll go and apply. I'll deposit so that I ask for probation period. Go to like Prof. Janice's office or the finance, ask for probation period so that I can do the papers, because when you pay a certain amount, they are allowed to do the papers, then you can pay later. How gracious is God. So I got the money, went and banked it, and so I was able to negotiate for some time to do papers. And then later on, I accepted I'll go and apply for debt semester. But now when I went to the finance department, there's this gentleman who was there. May God really bless him. Because when I told him about the story, after doing the papers, I told him I've come to apply for a debt semester. This person told me, this is a big job. I was like, I'm serious. I've come to apply for a debt semester. Person asked me why. I was like, I don't have money, you see, at home. I told him about the situation. He didn't believe it. Told me the way I know you just cannot settle for this. Just go for holidays and look for a way. After the holidays, I know you will have found a way, but you're not applying for a debt semester. So he declined giving it to me. He said, by authority, I'm supposed to give you if you give me the reasons, but I'm not giving it to you. Go and look for a way out. So I went back home. And I remember the plan was that I'm going to apply for a debt semester and then go and do a course. I loved fashion and designing then. So I wanted to go and do like, say, fashion and designing. Then when I start employing myself, I'll pay the loan I had gotten of 500,000 and then complete my tuition because remember it hadn't been completed. Then finally, come back and pay tuition. That was the plan as to why I got that money. So I assured this person, I'm going to go and start working or study a course. Then when I make money, I pay the loan, pay the rest of the tuition that was left at the university, then also pay my tuition. God is so amazing. I was able to get someone who paid my tuition. And I went back smiling to this individual who didn't give me a debt semester form at the finance. So he saw me with a bill cleared for the next semester. I was excited and really I had hope. Most of the things I'm telling you, I want you to realize the social capital we've been told, especially how you're going to show up at the university is going to help you. The people you're going to meet, starting from the askari to the lecturers, to like all the people. I want you to read through. I think there's noise in background. Okay. I want to see how different people play roles in our lives, how God places people in our lives and the roles they play. For me, from the student, the person I studied with, to the person at the finance department, to the other people I'm going to speak about, God was playing roles in my life. But still, social capital was at play. Yes? Yeah. So I went and applied, and then finally I was in school. But it didn't stop there. For the record, I grew up in the barracks, Zambia Police Barracks. So for those of you who are familiar with the status in the barracks, life is quite demeaning. for lack of a better word. It's very hard to stay there. It's a struggle for so many people. Yeah. So I used to feel bad about our situation. At least we had food on the table and, you know, couple of basic needs, but we lacked in other ways. But at least we survived. But I kept seeing so many people who were living such a demeaning life. So this challenge that I had gotten at the moment was a slap, wake up slap. I was like, what should I do? Yes, I now have someone to pay my tuition, but what if something else happens now? What if worse even happens? What would I do? So I chose to, I remember from the money I was given to pay tuition from this generous person, I was left with 20,000 shillings. So what I did is I went to one of our neighbors, a lady, and I asked her to assist me, you know, through. At home, mom used to make for us chapatis, samosas, donuts, you know, those things for breakfast. So I knew how to make these things. We used to usually make them for breakfast. So I got the 20,000 I had and I went to the market to buy wheat, cooking oil, charcoal, salt, and those other basic things. I made chapatis and I took them to campus. My goodness, it was not easy. Being at campus, some people are driving, some people are fancy. As you know, we come from different backgrounds. But I had a Kavera. I didn't even have money to buy a bucket on 20,000. But I got a Kavera and found my way to the school gate. They asked me, what is this? I was like, I've come to sell chapatis to the askaris. People laughed. I poured scone on me. I was like, no, I am not going back. I pleaded my way in. I entered, took them to the canteen, negotiated out. That was allowed. I sold chapatis. Before you know it, the little profit, I started making samosas, then added mandazi. But there was a challenge that these things go bad easily. Also, I could wake up, imagine having to wake up. I was only working alone. Then I sought help with a neighbor. Yeah, one of the ladies in the neighborhood. So she joined me and they were supporting me. She would make some of these snacks. Then I pack them. I support them. Then when it reaches time to go to school, I pack them in my Kavera, go to school. You reach there, Kavera can sweat. Some of them have sweated, so they reject them. You have to take away those. Eat them or give them away. That is a loss. Then you reach there, maybe samosas, some of them have fallen. Probably they've been mishandled. They are broken. There were so many challenges. I was like, what should I do, Vanange? I need money. Because yes, while I'm at school, I promised this person that although they are paying my tuition, I am not allowing them to pay for any other bills. So I paid other bills. And besides, we still had need for money. So I later on evolved and moved away from that kind of business and collected some of the money I got and started selling G-nuts. Yeah. Roasted G-nuts. I also learned this at home, by the way. I'm a Musoga. We do a lot of roasting G-nuts. So roasted G-nuts and soya beans. So I for home, so I roasted and packed in a Kavera. There are those Buveras where you get a candle and you seal. I didn't even have a machine. I started selling still on the same people I was selling the chapatis from. So after that, selling those, I introduced other products like daddies, hard corns. I kept learning skills here and there. Some of them I'd actually learned. Most of them in the baking world, I'd learned them from home because we would explore a lot when we were young. For parents on call, learning, you never know what is going to happen to your child tomorrow. So empower them with these skills, even basic. People have opened up McDonald's. There is some Specips. They started from a very humble background. You never know. A factory can start from home. I was blessed to start something from home from the skills I learned. So, cut the long story short, I started selling the snacks until one day, I started visiting different administration blocks, and I found myself in the Blue Building. For people who know the Blue Building, one of the facilitators told me to, lecturers told me to deliver for them that side. So I was like, yes, let me go there. I didn't even have proper packaging because I was in Boveras. So I went there to leave her. She was like, how about you go to other offices around? Just knock and say you have something to say. Well, they won't chase you. I was like, okay. I moved around. And by the grace of God, I met someone who saw vision in what I was doing, something I saw as basic in Akavera. This person, God used this person to help me with the basics on how to advance in business, connected me to very many networks. And the person I'm speaking about is on this call, Mr. Ambrose Chivoka. He really supported me a lot. I was doing business like I've started the journey. It was very basic. In Akavera, I didn't even have a vision. All I knew was that I want to improve my incomes and the ones of the people around, and I want to shoot as far as possible. So this person helped me refine, introduced me to several networks. And yeah, I was more confident. Before you know it, I was there packaging in tins. I need people to go to my social handles and you can read my story. It has been published in the Daily Monitor, in the New Vision, Nile Post, on TV, Spark TV, NTV, Bukede, like several social handles. You're going to find this story. When you put snacks businesses in Uganda, whether you put Aisha Ganda, snacks for you, whatever you put, you will read something and it will be evident of my journey, because then and how I look now is totally different. Why am I sharing this with you? I want to show you that life can turn around. What you're comfortable with right now, tuition and all, life might change and you don't have anything to pair with. But the people you have when you're humble and the people you have in your networks are going to help you move to different miles. God has been able to help me move from one business to another. So it came a time when I had to refine the business idea with support from different people. I joined networks like Startup Africa. Right now it's running in so many other universities. KIU, it started. Then it's now running in Makerere, Chambogo, and so many other entities. I studied social entrepreneurship. So I learned how to value a business that serves other people's problems. So I refined the business. Then I turned out in the career I'm serving now. To cut a long story short, I know you don't have a long time.
And I trust
To
you're concluding now. Very
yes,
beautiful.
yes. So I chose to refine it to a point where I joined this side. I did value addition on the snacks, made them healthy snacks. So I eliminated things like daddies, hard corns, and those other unhealthy snacks I had. I introduced only healthy things, pumpkin seeds, almonds, sim, nuts, and the likes. But then also introduce other herbs and spices along the brand. Then it kept growing. It came to a time where I was asking, what next? What next? Then I thought of doing better. I did value addition. Then until I thought of, I found myself in the passion I'm running right now, and that is the complementary and alternative medicine. I went to do a course to polish what I'm doing so that I can serve on the herbs, spices to make healthy treats, give nutritional advice, give herbal medicine, nutritional advice, and other complementary and alternative therapies. So I evolved from one career, from the course of business administration to a course of now complementary and alternative medicine. And it has been a journey. There are so many things, ups and downs I went through, but I could only tell you that I was able to join different networks, able to try out so many opportunities. I used to do so many voluntary work with organizations like Uganda Women's Network, Action Aid at campus, and these people would give us tips. There are so many seminars we would initiate, and we were able to, become very social and get so many opportunities to volunteer, some of which have helped me right now. So I encourage any youth out there to not wait until I had this in me. I'd actually tried to do sample businesses before, but I wasn't so serious until something came that slapped sense in me. So I encourage everyone out there to sit down and think of something. You may be well off at your home, but the money your parents have is not your money. Start something now before blasphemy knocks on your door. Yeah, you never know what is going to happen tomorrow. At least you might start it to put in practice what you study, or you might start it to improve your income, or you might start it to serve. Because even when you have enough money, you're not as big as the richest person in the world. So you need money to solve community challenges. You saw what has happened at the landfill in Chitezi. I teared up this morning when I was watching news and tragedy has happened. But you know, there's a lot of opportunity in that problem that has happened. You can do recycling business, you can do cleaning services, you can do so many things. So there's a lot of need, a lot of work in society. I encourage all of you to become social entrepreneurs. I chose to change field in the complementary and alternative medicine sector because I saw a challenge in the health sector. I encourage all of you to choose a purpose and drive it. Do a business, but serve community and give back. Yeah, thank you so much, Mr. Olo. For more details, you can follow me. I'm going to share my contact and social handles. If you need tips on how to navigate, I can share with you. And you can also follow me to read a lot more about what I'm doing, the exciting and amazing things several youth and adults can benefit from. Thank you so much, Madam Anita, for the opportunity, and everyone else who has listened in. God bless you.
Amen. Thank you so much, Aisha, for those. Madam Aisha is a career mentor, a career counselor, and a professional soft skills coach, and who has abandoned her business administration profession of a degree and so on, and went into complementary and alternative medicine. Now, the reason we are having all these stories is so that you can be able to pick an inspiration from what people are sharing. Ladies and gentlemen, as you transition into campus, there will always be a lot of opportunities dressed in different clothes. It is up to you to choose which side to take. And Madam Aisha's story is similar, or her situation then is similar with most of our situations when we join campus. Thank you, Madam Aisha, for those very wonderful remarks and encouragements to the young people on call. Indeed, learning never stops. And that's every time I log on call and I log in on call and find there Dr. Dan Musinguzi, I get impressed. Sometimes I ask myself, what is this gentleman looking for in such a crowd? But I understand, he encourages me, he pushes me into looking for sessions and sessions. Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Dan Musinguzi will be speaking to us briefly towards the end of this session, and therefore I request you all to stay tuned. Now, as before I bring back Madam Aisha, there are things that I want to say from my part. One is that when you get to the university, ladies and gentlemen, you realize that first of all now, we are changing from boys and girls to now call you ladies and gentlemen. That alone is a serious change that you're maneuvering, that you're going to maneuver through. The other day I was speaking to university students, and a bunch of university students collected themselves. They came to me and said, this whole week they have not given us uniform. I said, okay. So guys, there is change that is happening as you transition from A level, O level, or other places into university. There's no uniform, there is no bell, like Professor Janice said, and all those. What you'll find there are university social clubs. You're going to find there clubs and associations. You'll find societies and movements at school, at the university. Be picky on which one you take, basing on what you have understood from today. Belong to every social grouping, belong to associations that are going to add value to you, but those that are going to align with your purpose as a person getting into the university. The most common thing, in fact, I will invite Anita to add more on this when when I'm done with this, is that there is a lot of degeneration of values, morals, and character in universities. You have heard of things like, you see, for example, you get out of high school, you've been on zero grazing at school, boarding from primary up until today, and then you get this opportunity that you call very rare opportunity of getting into campus, and you want to practice and want to gain from the value of being on free range system, like people I have alluded earlier on. Ladies and gentlemen, I want you to get into camp, guide your movements, guide yourself into what you're going to do. There are a lot of drugs in our universities these days. I want you to be picky and say, I will not do drugs. I want you to say, I will not be part of alcohol. I want you to say that I will not be part of prostitution. I will not be part of those who will have to enjoy a lot of this intimacy at the university. Why? Because there is a lot of things that you're going to do when you get done with the university. The university in its end is not a place where you go to actually do what you were not doing at high school. That is a wrong one. Now, I also want to bring your mind to the fact that there is a lot of addiction to A, B, C, D, addiction to this and addiction to the other at the university. Professor Janice has already told you how you will be able to manage addiction, because you see, it is addiction that finally lands you into rehab. It is what lands you into mental health issues and so on and so forth. When you get there, do only what has taken you there. Now, the first 2 weeks at the university, or even 3, are periods for you to do, to review your career guidance lessons. Don't fall into a course like Professor Janice and others have said here, when you don't know what it will give you at the end of the day. And in Professor Janice's next speech to us, she will be talking about change of program at the university and so on and so forth. I want to encourage you to remain on purpose, remain with the goals that you've set, and identify and understand your temperament. I want to invite Madam Anita, as we move towards the conclusion of this conversation today and open to the audience to speak, I want to invite Madam Anita to speak to us briefly. Madam Anita, in universities nowadays, students form a lot of friendships. The other day, I saw one of my students that I taught at secondary post a video of day 1 at campus. She posted day 2, she posted day 3, day 4, day 5. And for the entire week, there is no photo of her in a lecture room. There's no photo of her around the university premises. And these videos were all about what happens in hostels and how they are enjoying university life. And there is where she even said, she mentioned the teacher's name in high school, how they have escaped the gap of that person. I want you to kindly come back and take us through how should these young people manage, 1, friendships, B, relationships, and how can they build meaningful relationships, what we call valuable social capital while at the university. This I invite you to do in very few minutes so that we move to the next topic. I also want you to marry these relationships and friendships with managing personal finances. How best should these young people that are on call tuned in today, and those that they will share stories with about this seminar today, manage their personal finances, basing on the fact that we've already accepted that most of us get into the university in the same situation, or with the same situation Aisha was in. Over to you, Madam Anita.
Thank you so much, Mr. Law. And again, I want to thank all the previous presenters, Professor Janice, Mr. Ambrose, and your great input, Mr. Law, but also for the great inspirational story of Madam Aisha Ganda. I don't usually recover from that story. Every time I hear it, it sounds fresh. And for me, every time I have an opportunity to go in front of young people, Madam Aisha's story is one of those stories I always want to go with. Madam Aisha, thank you for accepting to share your story. I'm sure that if there are young men and women on call who are joining campus, and those moments come where they're discouraged to continue, may they remember that you fought on and you finally made it. Again, thank you, Mr. Lowell. Before talking about friends, relationships, social capital, and personal finances, I just want to mention to the freshers joining university there is a club called BANG, B-A-N-G. BANG in full is becoming a new generation. And one of our previous speakers has talked about it. She's one of our former presidents. BANG is in Makerere University, and Sevina Solomon is one of those young people who have been a part of BANG, Makerere University. BANG is also in Kampala International University. BANG is in Kavale University. BANG is currently being established in Victoria University, and it's also in Nkumba University. And so we have this club happening. What happens in those clubs? One, the young people are skilled in soft skills. Now, statistics from the Carnegie Foundation and Harvard University have continuously showed that 85% of our soft skills are what makes us successful at our workplaces, and only 15% hard skill constitute the hard skills that we use at our workplaces. Now, those hard skills include our academic qualifications, 15%, and yet the 85% are, our attitudes, our leadership skills, communication skills, interpersonal relationships, and things like that. And so through these BANG clubs, we equip and empower the young people to get these soft skills, such as self-awareness. We talk about relationships, things to do with sexuality. We address the issues of addiction, issues of pornography. And right now, the biggest addiction now is the gadgets, the digital gadgets. So we talk about quite a lot in the BANG clubs. And so I want to encourage the young people, look for a BANG club in the university you're joining. If the BANG club is not in your university, it will come to you soon. And so probably you may want to reach out to us if you're joining a university and BANG is not there, and just find out when it's being established. But there are so many universities where we are still in touch. By the way, it's also in Chambogo University. I'd forgotten that. We are trying to establish it in MUBS and Busitema and then Kampala University. So we are sure that these clubs are usually led by the students in touch, and BANG is a program under Family Life Network. So I just wanted to mention that because the question you asked me, we usually handle this continuously through those clubs. Going to the issue of friendships and relationships, although the stories of campus students dropping out of university because of a relationship that has gone bad are stories that are heartbreaking. And these relationships are many. Some of them start with our parents. We've seen children committing suicide because relationships have gone bad with their parents. We've seen young girls and young boys, dropping out because probably the girl has gotten pregnant and the boy had to run away and things like that. But we've also seen roommates, relationships going sour and things end up in police. I've interacted with some of the deans of students from the different universities, and the stories always end up into a relationship, either that has gone bad or that has been mismanaged, and which takes me back to the issue I talked about of self-awareness, being self-aware. Who are you? Professor Janice came in and even added the issue of knowing your purpose, goal setting. Mr. Ambrose also came in and, emphasized the need of discovering who we are. And so it's very, very important for us to know why we are going on campus. If you don't know who you are, it's possible that you're going to get involved in wrong relationships. If you don't know your goals and what has taken you to campus, you're going to get into wrong relationships. If you know you've gone to campus, yes, you've gone to do medicine and surgery, then how come you're always interacting with guys in the legal, people who are doing law and things like that, totally away from your career? And so it's very important that even as we get into campus, even as we transition into campus, let's get into environments and relationships with people who are cheering us, who are pushing us towards our goals. Now, in this campus journey, we are becoming something. We are becoming someone. We are becoming doctors. We are becoming lawyers. We are becoming teachers. So our destinies are too great. And unfortunately, we cannot reach them on our own. And so God is going to place people along our path who will inspire us and challenge us, who will help us grow and accomplish our dreams. But we need to be wise enough to know this one is helping me achieve my goal, or this one is dragging me away from my future. And once we detect that, we withdraw ourselves, or we change course, or it's okay to ask people to leave, or you exit that relationship. The reason why we're having young people committing suicide, not completing their university journey. You see, you can walk into campus for 4 years, or 5 years, or 3 years, and then you don't even complete 2 years. Or you spend in much longer time that you are supposed to spend. So some people, or many young people, don't reach their goal, don't get to graduation in time, because they just don't get away from the wrong people. They have the wrong roommates. They have the wrong friends. When they are going out campus, they introduce them to wrong habits. I mean, we've had stories of girls who are called for job opportunities by a roommate, a friend, and before you know it, the job opportunity is prostitution. And so once you detect that that's the kind of person you're next with, change your room next time. Next time, some others have roommates who keep bringing in the opposite sex, and things are happening. There's one of the students at the university said that in the campus, it's like sex is a course unit. There's just too much sex, around campus, and unfortunately, it's a wrong path that usually leads to a dead end for many. There's a lot of HIV, and the rates right now are just too high. The HIV among the young people is just too high. And we, at some point, I felt like Uganda, we had almost won this battle, but it's coming back in our face. There are some regions that have been, some universities that have been highlighted, and the statistics is just alarming. And so, anyway, when it comes to friendships and relationships and the social capitals with the young people joining university, know your goal, know your purpose, know where you're coming from, know where you are, and know where you're going. Once there is clarity in those things, as Prof has mentioned and Mr. Chibuka has mentioned, you get to know who you're going to tag along with. If you're going to become a lawyer, you will visit law firms, you will get friends who are lawyers, you will get into environments and networks of people who are lawyers, and then you will dress like a lawyer. I've lectured at, yes, I've also been a lecturer at KIU. You enter class in the Department of Economics and Management. I'm one of those lecturers who chases students out of class. You're doing human resource management, and you're dressed like you're going for a football match, or you're going to a club, you see? And so, but that one shows you that there is a lack of awareness. Mr. Olo, our time is far spent, but let me push to personal finances. Now, this is another topic that is so wide. But the money we get from our parents, we call that money transfer earnings. We get it. It's a source of income. And for any money that we receive, there are habits we need to start developing as young people. The earlier, the better. The habit of saving is a habit you want to start as soon as you reach campus, not to consume everything that your parents give you. And as Madam Aisha said, find a way to start up something small that can be income generating. There's a lot of information, there's a lot on innovation, ways to be creative, because Mr. Law, one of the things that takes our young people off the path of achieving their goals in life is the issue of money. And instead of spending a lot of time looking for who to get money from, we need to start thinking, they need to start thinking of creative ways of how to make the little money they have multiply. And so for me, what I'll have to say on that is teach yourself about money, because you're not going to find it in your classrooms at the university. If Uganda is a third world country, it means it's not that rich. There is not yet there is money in the economy. We don't know why teaching about money is not in that, because of time. I think this conversation can always continue offline. Thank you.
Beautiful. Thank you, Anita, and for also recognizing that our time is fast spent. But we cannot end this conversation without speaking to Mr. Ambrose Chibuka there in very few words. With this escalating rates of unemployable young people in this country, especially of Uganda and East Africa and maybe broadly Africa, is that, and in situations where we have people going to the university, getting university degrees, and they can't really defend these university degrees in form of professions, they can't stand and deliver, and what happens is that at the end of the day, they are rendered unemployable. I am trying to be selective of the word so that I don't say unemployed. They become unemployable in a long run. I wanted to draw your attention to this subject matter. Are university degrees simply overrated? And if no, what can the young people do to get out of this increasing cobweb of people that have gone to the university, have gotten hold of the university degree, but they are rendered unemployable? Shortly over to you, Mr. Chibuka.
Thank you, Mr. Lowe, and I'm very honored. All the presentations are enriching me here. I'm very excited. Now, quickly, again, I will be radical again. And one, that I want to remind these campusers, the freshers, that most of the programs you are going to study, this is the reality. Most of them were designed for a different era, both in terms of the philosophy behind them and also the methods that are being used. What does that mean? It means that most likely what you will learn, and especially how you will learn it, will not be so very aligned to the world of work. Universities, like other educational institutions, take long to realign themselves. So you will study a lot of fantastic things which are useful, but then there will be that one, which I usually call the missing digit. There will be that one element that misses, which only you can figure out by yourself. And that is, what does this subject or topic that I have studied mean in real life? How can I use it? Madam Anita articulated and said that, you see, the hard skills that you will learn in your course will account for only 15% of what you need to make it out there. So however good your teachers will be, that will account for 15%. The 85%, which eventually, translates into your employability, it is your personal responsibility to learn that. So what does it mean? Yes, you go and study the law and study it very well. Your target should be to get a first class. Now that you know, should be to get a first class. In addition to that, endeavor to use every opportunity to learn as much as you can from as many platforms as you can, which have been said, seminars, whatever, trips, whatever it is, learn and learn and learn. Everyone has their own style. My style was, and which translated into my high employability. The first job I did when I left university, I was the formal job. I was a development coordinator for Lugazi Catholic Diocese. I used to do a lot of agricultural extension work. I used to do a lot of enterprise development, to do a lot of women empowerment programs. I used to do youth empowerment programs, and I studied none of these in my course at Makerere University, which was social sciences, and I specialized in political science and public administration. All these things I learned on my own. I used to read books in the library, and I used to attend seminars a lot. And when I went to do the interview, these guys thought I had actually studied these things. No, it is because they were not on my transcript, but it was a result of self-education. So campus, you have a lot of time. If you are very interested in your employability, you are going to have to learn most of these things by your personal initiative, just like you are here on this particular call. I'm sure you will not be the same after this call. So just master this and proceed with it. And finally, even if your course was so rich, with the era in which we are, there is no longer any self-contained course. You are studying medicine, but there will be a lot of computer applications in that medicine. We are talking telemedicine, we are talking robotic surgery, we are talking all those digital things, and they are not going to, because they are not in your curriculum for MBCHB, but then you will need them. So what does that mean? It means that figure out the supplementary skills that you need in order to make you highly employable, and then learn those things. I will tell you, there are so many free online courses, free. You don't even, the only thing you need is data, and then you learn, but these things will sharpen you, and you can't be the same. So that's what I can say within the limited time that we have. And I want to end by saying, start now. Your career starts now. Madam Aisha Ganda's experience should educate all of us that don't wait tomorrow, don't wait until you have finished, and your course does not define you. You are not what you studied. No, you are what God created you to be. So what you studied, so the business, the human resource, the business she studied is helping her now to complement her calling. But she discovered later that her calling is somewhere else, not mainstream business. So she's not about to go and ask for a job to be an accountant in someone's business. I'm sure of that. So thank you very much. That's what I can say in the time we have.
Wow, thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, like you've heard, you'll always, if you want to be impactful, you will add value on yourself. If you are interested in your employability, you will have to learn most of these things that industries want on your own. Thank you very much for those wonderful remarks. As we move towards the conclusion, let me have Professor Janice one last time. Professor, the world now has transitioned from the first industrial revolution to now balancing between fourth and fifth industrial revolution. We moved from the electrification revolution to the digital revolution to all these, from mechanization to what we now call the cyber-physical revolution, that actually now prioritizes interconnected technologies and smart devices, what you would always, you may easily refer to as the Internet of Things, or IoT. I want to pick your perspective on this. How well should these young people that are joining campus prepare to apply their antics of artificial intelligence and robotics in the work that they do, in maybe coursework, in tests, in CATs specifically, but also in preparation for exams and navigating through university life? You may also handle changing university courses, changing programs while at university. How well should they prepare? They are already actually blessed that at this time we have had over 30 of them on call, logged in on smartphones, some in groups, and listening to us now. At your time, maybe you did not have the opportunity of even seeing a smartphone from a close range. How well should these young people prepare to use the current technology? And ladies and gentlemen, after that, we'll handle a few questions from you. Thank you. Over to you, Prof.
Thank you, Augustine, and thank you all the other presenters for the important aspects that you've highlighted, especially Aisha Nganda. Thank you for your living example, because you are like a living testimony of what resilience means at campus. Okay, so the issue of artificial intelligence, we have a lot of tools now that are available to us as human beings. I was at a conference the other day where someone said that, oh, a phone is an extension of your brain. Well, I don't believe that it is, but that's what people think. You know, like a phone, it allows a phone or your computer or whatever. It is because these are all artificial intelligence tools. They allow us to have another form of intelligence on which we can rely to do what we could not be done by humans, and or what could be done but could be done faster. So you have different tools that are there. It started with ChatGPT, I think, but before that there were others, but which are not available to undergrad students. And now you have a lot of ChatGPT, and that has spiraled the growth of artificial intelligence tools that can be used in academia and for students very much. That it has a downside that students, because I mean, there is what they call the student syndrome. Wait until the last minute and then you do what you're supposed to do. So students want to wait. They give you work, you know, you're supposed to do it, but then you wait until the last minute, then you start running around like you didn't know you had the work. So of course, artificial intelligence tools come in to help a lot. So you can just put in a question and it gives you an answer. And some people, I mean, while they can be tools that can be used to enhance your learning, some people use them for the wrong purposes. So you use them to do your assignments, you use them to do it, but understand that as you plan, the people who have developed those, or the universities, also the educators are also planning. So you say, okay, I'm going to use a ChatGPT tool to write my essay, but then you don't know that the university has formulated already a system that can get an essay that has been written by an AI tool. So they are able to detect and know exactly that it has been written by that, and then they highlight that and give it to you back. So cheating has changed forms, from cheating as copying other people, cheating as copying AI without reading and researching on your own, because AI can also help you do some research, but it shouldn't write your essay. AI you can sit behind a computer and pretend to be somebody you're not, and you start chatting with somebody, and yet they are not actually chatting with you. They don't know you. They are not interested in you. And the power of technology comes in also to alert us about the dangers of cybersecurity, because it has a lot of that. You know, you find, yes, you have links, you get to a link, and before you know it, you've clicked a link that is going to harm everybody else in the university and reveal your personal information and lead you into danger. So as we explore all these tools at campus, like I said, be aware of your environment and what is available to you, even technology. Because you cannot reach, I usually tell people that in this age and time, you may not be able to afford a smartphone, but if you put your mind to it, you can actually get a smartphone. Because you find that for universities that have e-learning platforms, you're going to find it difficult to every time disappear to your laptop because you want to learn. People, they have tools now, they have things that they have developed, apps that they have developed that are university-based, that can give you every information you want about a university at your fingertips, every information you want on your module and your lecturers at your fingertips. So when you don't have a smartphone, it's a smart tool to use, it takes you away from what is supposed to be happening, or what is happening in the world out there. You don't know, so you cannot engage, and that keeps you behind. So you have to make sure that you also, yes, get the tools to use if you can. If you can't, work towards getting them, because the world of work now demands that, and then use them responsibly. Don't do cyberbullying is very real. Cybersecurity is very real. So you sit behind, you find that people these days, they don't need to come and bully freshers. They can sit behind a computer and using any app, start bullying people from hide behind you, hiding away from the public, use pseudonyms and start bullying everything under the sun and your fellow students, which is not nice. So AI is there to help us explore the tools at campus that are able to help you to do your work at campus, but please do not use them irresponsibly to engage in illegal activities. Then the other issue is the changing of courses. So like I said, awareness really helps. Reading really helps. Knowing what is available to you really helps. So when you get to campus, maybe you have registered for a certain program and you want to change. There are modalities of how to do that. Every campus will have joiners instructions. They have freshers orientations. Attend all those. Gather as much information as you can, such that you know if you want to change a course, there are rules that govern that. If you want to change anything on campus that you want to do, there is a rule for everything on campus. Familiarize yourself with the tools. When they give you a freshers joining handbook, please read it and read it to understand it, not just to sail through, but read it because it will give you the rules that you have to follow when you are on campus. And then look at how you do that for yourself. From the time you enter up to the time you exit, let that be your Bible generally. Yeah, and if you want, there's transferring of credits. So you may be studying in KIU and maybe you want to transfer to another university. There is also rules on how you do that transfer and at what point. Familiarize yourself with the rules of every institution wherever you go. Get familiar with them such that they can be able to help you and support you. Thank you, Augustine.
Wow, thank you very much, Professor Janice, for your time. Thank you very much, Mr. Ambrose Chivuka, for your time. Thank you very much, Madam Anita Malinga, for your very valuable input into these young people. And now I'll take a few questions, and I request that on your phones, there is a word reactions. Kindly, if you have a concern, or a question to ask, just go there, click on reactions, and then there is an option of raise hand. Kindly, when I see that you have a raised hand, I'll surely invite you to unmute and ask your question. Otherwise, I appreciate all my very, very beautiful and my good panelists of this afternoon and this evening for the work that they have done today in mentoring these young people. We have been live on YouTube. We've been streaming live on YouTube, and you may want to get the link and maybe pick up something out of the conversation, maybe what you missed and what you could want to just maybe have a deeper understanding. Professor Janice, your words here today, actually, I have seen a fruit of impact in it. I have actually shared with you on your DM one of the implementations of what of the things that you've been discussing here today. Someone has a beautiful photo of herself there, and they're trying to communicate your message. And the same applies to the words of Mr. Ambrose Chivuka. These young people are already making use of the words and the phrases that you've used today. And I want to appreciate you for sacrificing time to listen in, to be there and guide the future generation of this country and this planet. Myself, I am not a Gen Z. I am a millennial, and maybe Professor Janice could be a Gen X. Madam Anita, I am sure, is also a millennial like me, and I hope it's been a beautiful conversation. If there are any questions, I will take them. Let me give you first this good news from Dr. Dan Musinguzi. He has said, "Thank you for the opportunity to speak. I am traveling now, and my connection is weak, and therefore I am unable. However, I am happy to offer this group these special workshops for free. And the first workshop is how to introduce yourself using the value impact curiosity technique." Oh, this is an interesting one. And all of you, when that time comes, please sign in and listen in and learn. And then how to apply the Maiva technique to handle destructive criticisms. Now, ladies and gentlemen, these two workshops are normally workshops that people pay a lot of money to access. And thanks to Dr. Dan, you will have them at no cost. Dr. Dan is somewhere in Qatar as we speak now. And I think he has been joining us either in the skies as he traveled from one place to the other, or from the comfort of his home somewhere. Greetings, everyone. I am Wafula Dennis, joining from Buzitema University. Joining in Buzitema University. I was inquiring about the websites for the free courses Mr. Ambrose talked about. Thank you. And Ms. Ambrose has said, just punch in the search engine, free online short courses. So the search engine is, for example, Google. So like go to Google and say free online short courses. That has been responded to. If there is any other question, we should be happy to take. Otherwise, some people are asking for contacts. Madam Aisha's contact is right there, and social media and all that and all that. Wow, what a beautiful way to end the day. I don't see any question. I don't see any question, and so I am going to invite one person to just give a vote of thanks before we move to the panelists giving their parting shots. Okay, Mr. Ambrose Chivuka has also shared his number, but it is only for WhatsApp. Kindly take note of these numbers so that when even you get challenges at campus, you can be able to have somebody to dial and talk to. Let me invite anybody who is ready with a vote of thanks to my presenters to do it right away. If there is anyone with a hand up, Ivan, I see you. I didn't have time surely for you, but I promise in the next workshops and seminars, I surely won't forget you. There is somebody called Yangi Regina Alfred. You've been active on call from the first minute up to now, the third hour almost of the talk. I want to invite you to give a photo of thanks and maybe share with us some of those few things that you've learned from this session in 2 minutes. You're welcome, Regina. And then after that, we will have parting shots from our presenters in maybe one minute, and then call it a day. Thank you. Regina, you're welcome. Kindly unmute and speak to us. Okay, Regina is probably, okay, he or she is on. Go ahead.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
I'm really grateful. I'm really grateful for joining people. And I've really enjoyed this session and I've learned a lot. I'm fresh, I'm just joining, but I was really grateful attending this. Really learned a lot. And I'll keep following in order to learn a lot, because as we're just joining it's a new environment. We don't know much, but others may take it for granted, but I've really learned. So those ones who have not attended, I hope you can catch up from where we are. Thank you very much.
Wow, thank you, Regina. And to emphasize gender balance, I'll just pick one gentleman to say a word and maybe a vote of thanks, because let me try looking for Nasasira Frederick.
Yeah, but they chose me. But how come they chose me?
Yes, Regina, we chose you. Let's now also give chance to another person. Stewart, okay, let me get Stewart. Stewart, you're on call. Kindly unmute. I am trying to get hold of a boy, and you know why I am specifically interested in a young man to say what? Because no one these days fights for the rights of the young people. I mean, of the boy child, yes. Okay, let me listen in from Mustafa Lukwago. Okay.
Olawo,
Godfrey
I think
Nwamanya.
people don't have rights to unmute, but I think now
Okay. Okay, Godfrey Nwamanya. I've actually been sending them I have been asking them to unmute from my end. So yes, Godfrey, kindly unmute.
Yeah.
Correct.
Good
Take it up.
evening. I'm called Nwamanya Godfrey. A fresher joining in August. KIU. I'm so grateful for the word you have not only fed the fresh. So we are so grateful and we are able to keep in touch for the life journey we have just begun. You know, sorry is hard. Sorry is when you're beginning a new journey, when you don't know how to begin.
Although we can hardly hear him. On my end, at least I can't hear Godfrey.
Yeah, I am struggling as well to listen in from him. Maybe we can consider that he will be heard some other time.
His volume is
Godfrey,
on, but I
some
think
other
he's
time.
just not loud enough.
Yeah, it's just not loud enough. That's true. I was also trying to buy some time so that maybe Godfrey, kindly extend the phone closer to you so that we can be able to hear you.
Yes, good evening, everyone. I'm called Nwamanya Godfrey.
Let him remove the earphones.
Yes, put off the headsets or earphone. Nwamanya? Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, we've come to the end of this session. I want to thank you, Professor Janice, for making time for us. I also want to thank Mr. Ambrose Chibuka for making time. I want to thank you so much, Madam Anita, for making time. Let me request my panel to now give us their parting shots. As and ladies and gentlemen, don't go off call yet, on call from the call yet, because any time from now you may get something impactful. You just can't know from which angle. I want to start with you, Mr. Ambrose Chibuka. I want to ask this question as we conclude. After university, what next? And as you give your parting shots.
Thank you. My parting shot will actually be the response to that question. And that parting shot is maximize every moment. The people who grew up in my generation, Professor Janice and I think we are both Gen X, Generation X. There was a musician called Whitney Houston, and there is a song she sang, One Moment in Time. You can check out the lyrics of that song on YouTube and also play it. And the idea is each day you live, maximize, give the world the best that you can give the world. Or sirike. Once you do that, give the world the best you can give, and you will see how things unfold. Maximize every moment. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chibuga Ambrose. One moment in time, maximize. Thank you very much. And I want to get to Madam Anita, your parting shot and the few announcements that you have at your end. You may also, okay, you already spoke about the Bang mentorship clubs at university. So just your parting shot, and if there is any announcement from your end.
Okay, no major announcements, just to thank those who have been able to join on call and to just encourage them to, get in touch with Shine Leadership International. So many youth programs are happening. We currently have the Young Adults Mentorship Series going on every Saturday. We have the Youth Empowered Leadership and Entrepreneurship Program that is running. And we have the Guild Leaders Accelerator Program that is going to run in different universities. So join in, get contacts, look out for the bank clubs in your universities, get in touch. Now, if you want to go very far in life, every young person will need an adult ally, a mentor, someone on whose shoulders you can stand, so that you see where you're going, so that you can go far in life. Avoid doing life alone at the university. And by alone, I mean the only people that inspire you and motivate you are your peers, not even your lecturers. Two blind people cannot lead themselves. And yes, you because this generation trusts its peers a lot, and it's a wrong thing. They don't trust their parents, they don't trust their lecturers, they don't trust any adult ally, they don't have mentors, they are not being guided. And you ask them, who is guiding you? My best friend. And probably they're even years below them. Very dangerous. You are on a journey, whether you know it or not, and you are going to a defined destination, whether it's defined yet or not. And for you to get there, you will need people who have gone before you. If you don't have those people, look for them. They may come in shapes of your lecturers or your supervisors or mentors you'll find in programs like this. Get an adult ally, someone you'll talk to when you've hit rock bottom, someone I'll share, although I've had young people call me, and the one that, kind of made me freak out a lot was when a young person called me and told me, Madam Anita, I need to talk to you. I'm going to commit suicide in the next few minutes. As in hospital, my girl was admitted. I had to ask the nurse to step in for me a little bit because she was screaming and crying. And I just had to step out and make that phone call to this young man. And what was the problem? The girlfriend, who is the classmate, had broken up with him for another person. Now, ladies and gentlemen, if I can, and that was when he was in his second year. As I speak now, he graduated with his degree and he's doing very well. He even started a business. Have an adult ally, that person you call when things don't seem to make sense. Thank you so much, Mr. Lowo. Over to you. I wish them all the best in their campus journey.
Mr. Lowo.
Wow, thank you. Yes, sir.
A very quick one. Madam Anita has just said something that reminded me. I want to give these ladies and gentlemen a homework to go online and read about the development of the human brain. And they will discover details, but I'm just going to make the statement. It says that the human brain is not fully developed until the age of 22. And good news or bad news, by God's design, the last part of the brain to develop fully is the prefrontal cortex, which is also the part responsible for guiding decision making. And that emphasizes the need for young people to actually have an adult companion to journey with, because by God's creation, I don't know why he did it that way, you will not make very accurate decisions before the age of 22, and that's a design of nature. Thank you.
Wow, beautiful. Ladies and gentlemen, as we bring this to a close, I want to invite Professor Janice to kindly give her parting shots. Prof, welcome.
Thank you, Augustine, and to the other presenters for the insights that you've given these young people. I hope that they'll be able to help them on campus. For me, I believe that life is a journey. It's not a race. It's not a competition. Run your race and run it well, and God will do the rest. Just run it with everything that you have in you. Because most of us, when we joined campus, who were young like you many years ago, didn't have any idea what campus would be like. We didn't have any prep talks to tell us what exactly happened. You reach there and halfway into the course, you realize, okay, what have I been doing? So find people on campus who will be able to guide you, to tell you what campus life is all about, the academic part, because there's a whole part that is not covered here on what those different things mean at campus. If they say cumulative grade point average, what does it mean? And I've realized that many students go into campus and get out without knowing what that means. What does a first class degree mean? What does a pass mean? Have somebody who will sit you down and take you through, and ask somebody on campus to take you through if you don't get it from anywhere else. Equip yourself with as much information as you can. In every room where you find an opportunity, enter and take the opportunity.
any learning opportunity, any info, you're at campus to learn, just enter that room. They say there's a free course. Don't sit on your butt. Just go out and get whatever it is that you have that you are supposed to get, or that you accidentally, even if you accidentally bump into people learning. If it is something in a school of law and they've invited everybody, you go, even if you are doing computer science, because the world right now is very diverse and very multidisciplinary. Get into other disciplines and understand what they do, because you can never know. But take whatever you can from every opportunity that God has presented to you. Run your race and run it well, and the rest will leave it up to God. God bless your campus journeys. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Prof. Life is a journey, and you're running your race alone, surely. So thank you for those beautiful words. Thank you so much, Professor Janice. Thank you all the panelists. I want to invite now. For me, my parting shot is very easy. My journey, my life is because where it is now because I met friends at campus and made valuable friendships and relationships at the university. In fact, I came from the village. I didn't even know what Kampala was. By the way, I didn't know Kampala. I also didn't know Luganda, not even a quarter half. You know, quarter half is different from a half of Luganda. Imagine alone. I don't even, without a relative in Kampala. The one I had also didn't know Kampala. So I started from there, and coming from a village in Tororo there, very deep. I took almost a full month to gather myself up and say, okay, now I need to interact with people. And then somewhere along the way, I collided with the Center for Constitutional Governance, and then there were Hope Initiative clubs at campus. And that's how I started. And that's where my journey actually of campus enjoyments began from. And then I was taken through this entire country. We went to the north, to the east, to the west, to central, and almost reached the southern part of this country, which they call southwestern. And just like that, I am now a public speaker. I am all of these things because I accepted to take responsibility and take those relationships and build on them very, very well. I want to invite Ivan. Ivan, you'll help us have a close, you will help us say closing prayer to actually bring all this to a wrap up. Someone asks, how can I always get updates in case of another talk? Ladies and gentlemen, for this specific orientation, we actually created a WhatsApp group, but in case you're not part of the WhatsApp group, kindly inbox me on +256 787 106 888, and I will surely add you to the WhatsApp group. And I have shared this number in the chat, so you can pick it from there. Someone says, thanks everyone for your time. I'm really blessed to be here. I am so amazed and enriched with the meeting. And Frederick says, due to environment, I haven't been able to share using the audio. Greetings. I would like to take this opportunity to appreciate you for the good words shared and edifying us mentally. And that is to the presenters. Lastly, a great thanks to my fellows that have managed to be on and utilize this educative moment. I'm really grateful. May the good Lord bless you all. Thank you. And ladies and gentlemen, our lives begin to end when we stop talking about things that matter to us. And I want you to always talk about what affects you and think about their consequences before you do anything. My name is Augustine, and I have been surely your able host. Let me invite. Okay, Mr. Ambrose says, sorry, it's age 25 and not 22. It will not 22 years when the brain is fully developed. But please go make research on the development of the human brain. Okay, where is Ivan? Ivan, kindly take it up from there. Kindly unmute and lead us through a closing prayer. Otherwise, I want to appreciate you all that have been on call as I wait for Ivan. Hey, Ivan has actually dropped off call. Let me invite Chizito Stacy. Stacy is actually an alumna of Uganda Matters University in Nkozi. You're welcome, Stacy. for a word of prayer. I've asked you to unmute, so kindly just take it up.
Good evening, everyone. Hope I'm loud and clear.
Properly
Let us
and
humble
also
for a word of prayer. God-loving Father, we thank you for this day. We thank you for the gift of life, and we pray that as a new week begins, journey with us. Bless us, give us knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. We pray for the young people who are joining university. Be with them, guide them through all their time. We pray for our mentors, protect them, give them more knowledge, and us, the mentees. Let us understand everything that they're telling us, and let us be the generation that will have values, morals, and character. In Jesus' name I've prayed.
amen. Thank you very much, Stacy. Ladies and gentlemen, this comes to a close. I wish you very well, like a very beautiful campus journey. Please go out there and become better and not bitter citizens and not bitter campusers. And kindly, for whatever you touch, may you leave an impact. If you need further career guidance, please kindly reach out to any of us for assistance, and we will kindly be of help. God bless you all. And from Uganda, the Pearl of Africa, have a good evening from wherever you're listening to us from. And to those of you that joined us internationally, we are grateful that you sacrificed this time to be with us.